My life is misery, and
Ancient Chinese secret.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Barr.
Jacob Barr.
hello. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you, dude.
When did you get back from Austin?
Like 2 weeks ago. Just kind of back home, back to work, back to the usual shit.
Talking with homeless people, making
Oh,
sure
yeah,
they're all
dude,
right.
yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
feel
hell
like Frodo and Sam when they got back to the Shire and they're like looking around the bar and they're just like, God, these people will never know we saw Mount Doom.
Yeah, dude, you did you throw it into the fire, friend. How was it?
Dude, it was so honestly, like, I kind of put too much on the trip. Like, initially when I was gonna go down, I was like, okay, I'm in grad school. I was kind of thinking about quitting doing stand up, like at least like the dream of it.
Yeah.
Cause like, I don't know, the past few years I felt very
You
like
about a decade in.
yeah, and it's
About
like
time to pack it up.
Right.
It's
It's just
either
like nothing
double
has
down
happened
or
yet.
pack it up. Yeah.
And it's like, I'm in grad school, and I was really happy with what I was doing in grad school. I was also happy with doing stand-up, but it's like I just felt like I was taking off a hat and putting on a different hat every day. And whenever I'm just wearing the one hat, I feel way more clarity about what I'm doing. So I was like, all right, maybe it's time to take off the stand-up hat and like try to be an adult. But my fiance was like, all right, well, if you're going to do that, you should try to just do the stand-up hat and like give it a shot,
Damn.
Because I was like talking about Austin and all the shit down in Austin.
You've got a full support lady.
Oh yeah, dude, she's
Your
an angel.
fiance told you to do stand up.
Yeah, no, she
How
literally.
bad are you at your other job? I mean, you're a fantastic comedian. You really are a brilliant comic, but I mean, like, you bad at the other gig?
No, the weird
Like,
thing.
how many homeless people are dying on your watch?
Actually, none have died. Some have tried to kill me, but yeah. But anyway, but it's like I loved that job. I still like it. And I wanted to be like a school counselor. But she was like, yeah, that's cool, but like, don't just be like, I'm gonna give up on my dreams now. Maybe you should like actually see what you can do down there. And my buddy Mort, who's a Toledo guy.
Shout out Mort.
Shout out Mort,
Shout out
dude.
Mort.
Dude, Mort, my buddy Mort.
Is it a comic?
Yeah.
You want
He's
to full plug him?
yeah.
Full-
So
full
he
send on
he's
Mort.
he's in like he's I think he started like 2 years ago. So he's real fresh. He's real.
What's his full name?
Braden Moriarty. He's
Oh, all right.
sweetheart. He goes by Mort. And
Mort, you got 8 years to quit.
yeah. The clock is ticking.
Well, hang on. To think about really quitting.
Right.
So he was just like, hey, I'm staying at a place in Texas or down in Austin, like right downtown. Do you want to come stay with me? And I was like, oh, no. And then my fiance was like, this feels like a real clear sign. He's like, you can stay with me like the whole summer if you want.
That's epic.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck, this does feel like I was contemplating quitting. And then he's like, you should come down here. It just felt like such a clear sign. So I dropped out of school.
Damn,
And,
dog.
Yeah. And
For summer school?
yeah. So okay,
I was like, you didn't
dropped
drop
out.
all the way out, did
No,
you?
so I dropped
Okay.
out in 2 phases. So I dropped out for my summer classes.
Okay.
Because it just, there's summer classes. I had classes I had to take the next summer. So I was like, fuck it. I'm dropping these.
Yeah.
And then I go down and all this stuff happened. And now I'm getting like enough work with stand up to where like I can't really go to school and
Yeah.
do the stand up because it's like I would just fuck both of them up.
Yeah.
And it's like if I was supposed to start an internship at my high school
Damn.
in
dog.
September.
Wow.
And
But you're full on. You're doing it.
yeah. So
That's awesome.
So
man.
long story short is I got I came back and it was like I would feel so bad if I started my internship and then I got opportunities to do shows that I couldn't say no to,
Yeah,
and I'd feel
yeah.
terrible. So I was like, I felt like the most responsible thing was to withdraw from school. And I have 6 years to go back. So if a year from now I'm just like eating dick left
Yeah.
and right, I'll go back. But it's
I don't think that's gonna happen,
Oh,
dude.
God.
Like,
That's
I
so
don't know.
smart. I always thought to just do both and just bleed myself dry.
see,
That's kind of been
I'm.
my.
well,
it's been my
you
move.
are a mature person. I feel like a lot of people would be capable of doing both. I just don't think I was.
Oh
See,
no, I'm not capable, but I do it. You can do it and still not be capable.
The kids see the dead behind my eyes every day I go to class. But I
mean-
tell them I got open mics to do everything.
I walk in, I'm just like, yeah, guys, we're watching a movie today, and they're just like, wow, tough set last night. I was like,
You're like, I got heckled real bad.
Man, you guys are doing it right though, because I took the knee injury as like, all right, I'm not working, and then Now I'm just like,
And now you got 2 good knees.
yeah, 2 good knees
Hey.
and not enough sets. Like I'm doing the like, yeah, I'm doing full-time stand-up when I can. Like when I'm booked enough. I'm like, God damn, dog. Like that does rule that you're at a point where stand-up's going so well and you're on such an upward swing that you can actually make perhaps a responsible decision to pursue it as the actual career now.
Yeah, at least for now, you
Yeah.
know, like if I'm taking it one day at a time, and if things change, I'll adjust accordingly. But right now, I'm feeling great, and I want to follow that.
Was was there like a clear point where like the offers all started coming in right when that Kill Tony went to air?
Yeah,
Was
so
that-
like 2 days after that, I got the call from our buddy Kyle that I could headline the House of Comedy.
Oh, fuck
and
yeah.
I was like, oh shit, and like, I don't mean
Gatekeeper Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle Forsyth?
Keeper of the gates, Kyle Forsyth.
the key master,
Shout out Kyle Forsyth.
sweet boy.
Single-handedly keeping the trolls from getting in the
Yeah,
castle.
dude.
yeah. He's out there with a sword.
Yeah,
man,
dude.
front lines.
He's slaughtering the mediocre and booking his friends who, if I'm being honest, sometimes I'm aggressively mediocre at D-Hawk, but
Hey, but then we're not scaring people away. You know?
no.
We're keeping him there just long enough.
yeah.
Just
They buy
long enough
drinks.
till the headliner comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So you did a weekend at D-Hawk? Right?
So
Like the
it was actually really cool. So they only had me do one show,
Okay.
which I was really pumped about because it's easier to deliver. And they were not expecting like a big turnout. I'm a new local headliner.
Yeah.
They thought they'd get some Kill Tony fans, but we sold a little bit over 100 tickets.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And
dude.
yeah, I was like, I don't know, it was great. And like, I was super emotional like after it because like there'd been like people who came out to the show who I hadn't seen in like 15 years.
That fucking rules,
Like
man.
the craziest thing was like, so when I was a little kid, or like when I was like 8, there were these triplets that lived across the street from me, and they were really sweet. They were like 6 years younger than me, so I would play with them, and they were a lot younger than me, but they're real tight, real nice, real good buddies. And then they moved away, and I hadn't seen them in 15 years, so they were adults now. All 3 of them
Damn,
came,
dog.
and I was like borderline crying. I was like, I don't even recognize. I was like, your name, your voices are different. You guys are all like adults,
The
and
fucking homies came
Yeah,
out,
dude.
though,
Oh my
dude.
gosh.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie just showing up like that fucking rules.
it just touched me enough to where it was like, I don't know. It just felt like more. Like a more clear sign, like I got, people were supporting me and saying nice things to me, and I hate myself, and so it's like, I was like, my brain couldn't, deny anything anymore, and I was like, I gotta do this. I gotta do this.
Yeah.
Well, if you're sick of hearing nice things about you, you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
dog,
God.
we can fucking Chinese
Get way
rocket
into
force
it.
is about grinding people
We
down,
brought
dude.
you here to bring that ego back.
Please.
Yeah, dude. You're about to blow up on the tarmac with these rockets, baby.
Make me cry.
In
a
all
bad way.
honesty, I started choking up when I saw the episode because I had heard tell there was word in the grapevine that you got pulled.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. Tim Hill messaged me
Oh,
the
shit.
night you got on, and me not knowing exactly because I don't watch Kill Tony a lot.
Right.
Like
It's a brutal show for
Well,
a comedian
it's also
to
a
watch.
week delayed, so it's delayed
Yeah.
a week. I didn't
Yeah.
know that, so I like pulled up the episode. And I almost messaged Tim Hill back like, "You're a fucking idiot, dude." Like,
Why did you
but-
mistake him? Like,
Yeah, I was like, "Why would you lie to
Which
me?"
of these
dude?
guys did you think was Jacob?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how long you've been out of the Michigan scene, dog, but yeah, Jacob was not on
There's
that.
a really shaky guy up there. He
Yeah.
was shaking his arms so fast, I swore they were fucked up. And
Dog, a lot of those bucket pulls. I love it when like a legit comic trying and
Yeah.
working gets pulled.
But
like,
even then, it's not guaranteed to go well.
No,
I
but-
think it's a legitimately tough crowd
for sure, but
because
it's-
there's
it's-
also sometimes they don't want you to do
even
well.
during the interview, those comics at least like they can talk the talk a little
Right.
bit more. Sometimes I'll watch some of those clips where I'm like, whoa, like
well, it's weird. So like when you sign up, you're like in this like nightclub for comedians, basically. So you're across the street and
That's
there's like
hell.
100. Yeah, dude. Well, it'll be funny because like
Jesus.
it'll be
They
like
got rid of the old bullpen setup.
yeah, no, it's
Dude, they used to have. Oh God, I remember. I've been in that bullpen a couple of times, just sucking down Miller Lights, being like, I don't give a fuck.
Everyone says they miss that. I never got to be in that bullpen.
Ugh.
But you're in this bar across the street. There's like 200 comics in there, and by the end of the night, it's popping because people are shit faced and their dreams are dead. And it's like, They'll be
How
like
could your
hot.
dreams be that it happens every Monday.
Dude, they'll be like normal hot women will walk in for like 5 minutes and they'll be like, "What? Why?
Yeah.
It's popping in here, but it smells awful."
Yeah. Hey, that's what
Just the
dreams are made of,
ugliest-
dude. Stinky bros trying to make people laugh.
Hot women, and then the ugliest men you've ever seen in your life.
Well, I would
Just
say
all
like most of
standing
them aren't even. I'd say statistically a lot of them were even comics. So like you're hanging out in
Oh,
there.
Jesus.
It's like a
Alright.
circus. There'll be like people who like me who came from stupid far away to put our names in a bucket, and then they'll be sitting next to a guy who's like, "Yeah, I think if I get picked, I'll write some jokes."
Oh my god,
like,
dog.
It would
Yeah,
infuriate me a little
how
bit.
does it work now? Because like the Kill Tonys I've ever been a part of, it was like it's smaller before the show was like what it is now. So it's like they'd pull your name out of the bucket and then you literally ran up on stage.
So there's
do you have
about
to
a 10-minute
play
gap.
Frogger to run across.
Well, the guy who runs is this. Well, I mean, there's a shit ton of people who run, but the main guy who runs people across is this guy Colt, and he's this super just nice dude, like honestly about my size.
Yeah.
He just like runs across the street and like brings people. He screams your name.
So
and,
there's a handler that just
Yeah.
comes in to pick you and take you to the island.
and it stresses him out so much because he'll come back. He'll be like, "Fucking Johnny Mockney, you're on Kill Tony," and Johnny Mockney's taking a piss,
Oh,
and he'll
What?
be like,
Do
"Where
they
the
have
fuck
a-
is Johnny Mockney?"
Do they have a microphone in the club bar
Yep.
for him to use? Because that would make
He just runs across, the music will cut, and it'll be like, so and so you're on. And then they have people you'll like. There's this girl Aya who's there every week who will sign people's names for the bucket, and like if you've never done it, you gotta sign like a waiver and all this stuff.
Wait, damn, dude, things have changed since I've been there where it was like slips of paper.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I remember when it was at Lansing, and it's like it's cool to see the show grow from local bum fights to national bum fights.
Right, dude.
You want this wheel of cheese, bitch?
Because literal homeless people will sign up. Like, there's this one guy.
Yeah, dude, couple of hours hanging out inside, like with the boys.
I met
By
this.
the way,
like getting arrested
I
for
think
the
we
night.
know where the smells are coming from now. Then,
But dude, you'd meet someone and like you wouldn't realize they were homeless until the
Yeah.
very end of the night,
Yeah.
and you'd
Wow.
be like, "There's one guy specifically. I won't say his name. He's a really nice guy, but like he had like face tats, and we talked to him a lot." And then he was just like, "Oh yeah, I just live. Sometimes I'll sleep under that bridge over there."
oh,
And then I
damn,
signed up for
dude.
Kill Tony.
In Austin.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so last time, shout out Elena Banfield. Last time Elena Banfield and I were there visiting, we'll keep name dropping, Genevieve Clinton and Marcus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were visiting them, and this was like 2021, maybe 22. But the homeless was like such a problem. Like it was a new problem in Austin. That like evidently the city was like hiring bulldozers and shit at night to just like bulldoze tents.
Yeah,
like,
it's terrible.
in
that,
a row.
yeah.
Yeah, and evidently I heard from from another Austin comic that one homeless guy was just like, "They're killing us. They're killing us. They're taking us to Taco Bell's and turning us into the meat." And I'm just like, oh, dude, if I'd have heard that from the primary source, I think I'd have been done eating Taco Bell forever.
And I hated doing it, but
Little Soylent
piloting the
Green
bulldozer
example.
is so
Yeah.
much fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you take the humanity out of it, which the people in the bulldozers clearly have.
Yeah, it's fucked. But the
Uh,
homeless there, I'd say, are a lot friendlier than some of the homeless people I work with up here because it's at least warm down
Dude,
there. All
yeah,
the
I was
time.
gonna say the cold. The cold
don't get as
gets
grumpy.
you.
And they're homeless
Yeah.
aspiring artists.
Yeah.
Some of those guys.
Well,
you know,
I wanna-
like are you? It's a chicken or the egg. It's like are you homeless because you're an aspiring artist or the other way around?
Dude, I met a homeless guy who signed up for Kill Tony. His main pitch to me when I met him was he's like, I wrote a book about eating pussy.
Do you think?
Oh, sick.
And
Do
he
you
it's
think
Did
called
you
the,
find the book?
yeah, it's called The Manual. I
Oh,
can't
fuck
remember the
yeah.
guy's name, but if you
We'll find it on Amazon.
his pitch was he's like I can teach you how to make 3 women come at the same time without your dick, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
I gotta read this book now,
He
dude.
showed me like scratch. He said it is actually published, but the part he pulled out was just like notebook paper, and he's like, yeah, read this part. And I'm like, oh,
I'm sure it's popping. Yeah.
it's popping.
No, so first, I have so many more questions now because it seems like it's changed. One, do you sign up yourself, or is there has to be a feeder system now where when that guy signs up, somebody just crumples that one up? That
Yeah,
doesn't-
people get blacklisted.
I'm sure
Because the more people that sign up, honestly, I can't imagine what it's like for like the people who run the show. Because it's like the more people that sign up, statistically, it's way more crazy people.
So I believe that, but okay. So when they pull your name out of the bucket, it's done prior to, because you said there's 10 minutes.
Yep. So
do they quietly pull it, and then when they say it's time to pull, is that theatric and they say your name and you come out, or
so I think
is
it's like
that
a one
all
name
edited
delay.
in post?
Yeah, that's because you can always see him pulling the name.
Right.
Like he'll pull the name at the beginning before the opener that they usually have comes out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that person will come out, and before that person comes out, he pulls the next name.
Okay. All right. See, that's how much I don't watch the show. I was a little confused if that was editing or.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah,
Okay.
they have a pretty smooth system. Since they're across the street, they got it. And they'll call people and they won't show up. Sometimes,
Damn.
like that, I can't imagine is how panic-inducing. Where the guy will come back, they'll call Johnny Mockney to kill Tony, and they can't find Johnny Mockney.
Wouldn't it make sense that maybe Tony pulls like 2, and so
Sometimes
they have a backup one when the guy goes across the street when Colt goes over there?
Yeah, I do. So much of it is mysterious because it's like I think Red Band will look at the social media like right before they come up. Because if you watch the clip of me coming out and kill Tony, you can see Red Band start laughing a little bit like right before I popped
he knows
out.
who's gonna come
Yeah,
out.
I think he looked at my social media because when you sign up, you have to put that on.
I
there.
will say the fucking line they said right before you came out, and I will say being buddies with
Shane's
you.
line?
Yeah, dude.
No, because when
Like
I first
all of us
watched
that
it-
knew you, I was like, "Oh, dog, this is gonna be out of control."
When I watched the episode, because I knew you were going to be on that one, and I just started skipping forward till you showed up.
Oh, yeah.
And
it
once
was
I
brutal
saw you
episode.
showed up, I went back to before they pulled you out. And
Yeah.
when Shane started saying that, I started cackling
It's-
because
yeah,
I knew it was coming.
It's dude. When I saw it and he said that, I think I started laughing even before you made your way out.
I
on
couldn't even hear him
stage.
say that because I was.
Okay.
I mean, backstage, I was.
Dude, you didn't hear him
freaking
say
out.
that?
No.
Because you played it off like so cool, like you did.
yeah.
Just freaked the fuck.
That's incredible.
Immediate deer in
All right.
headlights. So what happened was, they bring you across and you're in this little hallway. I was standing there. It was just me and Heidi and Drew Nickens was back there at the time, who I had met like a few days before. So that was really nice. Like I went backstage and there was someone who I knew,
yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, you got picked. That's cool."
Yeah.
And so we were talking for a bit.
That's a good Drew Nickens
Yeah,
impression.
dude, he was so sweet,
Yeah.
and that I was completely terrified because I'm standing back there. I'm like, I've waited. This is all. Everything is. I'm freaking out, and I couldn't hear. And they wouldn't tell me who the guests were.
Oh, so you didn't know until the second
Oh,
you were out on
shit.
stage.
Yeah,
That's
all Colt told
insane.
me he was like, I won't tell you the guests, but I think this might be our biggest episode. I'm like, great, now I'm terrified.
Awesome.
Jesus, dude.
And I couldn't hear what Shane was saying. So when I walked out and everyone started freaking out, I was like, oh, are they just laughing because my hands are weird? Because if that's the case, I got the shit in the bag.
Dog. Well, you came out. That's what's incredible. I think it was a perfect storm then, because you just came out guns blazing with. I've seen you open with that before.
Yeah, I gotta go immediately.
Yeah, and it's like now you're at a national audience level where it's like, okay, you know how to handle a new crowd seeing you for the first time, and it's so fun to see you like first time a crowd, and then when you're in like Blind Pig or Showcase where like the crowd might know you.
Yeah, I can just shoot the shit a little more.
Incredible, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm really hoping if I ever get to go back on, like, I was a real spaz up there.
Yeah, sure.
But that's what kind of made me like feel good the most was like people liked me, even though I was genuinely terrified.
Well, yeah, dog. I don't think you were spaz so much as like, buddy to buddy. I was like, yeah, this is a huge moment, and I'm sure the adrenaline was pumping.
Oh, yeah.
And you managed it to the
I
point
could-
where it wasn't a detriment.
I could
It's-
especially feel it when you were like telling them to shut up because you had to keep
Yeah.
going.
Well, dude, I do love. I've seen you do that at Rumbles before. You go, shut the fuck up. I
Yeah,
only got
yeah.
90 seconds.
Because I feel
The
every
Rumble-
second tick away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rumble Jacob came out.
Yeah,
Oh,
I will say, Comedy Rumble does kind of get people Kill Tony adjacent ready to go.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
that
Does-
was definitely like if I hadn't done all those comedy rumbles,
Yeah.
I think that would have impacted it greatly. I just like I felt like because I personally I like the comedy rumbles are great, but I hate doing them because
Yeah.
it's genuine anxiety. And
everyone is terrifying.
Yeah.
to me. Like,
but just leaning into being scared made me feel good, and then like after like, was weird because like in Austin, everybody watches Kill Tony. So like the week after the show came out, like people were like taking pictures with me and like screaming at me from across the street, be like, "I saw you on the thing," and like people walking up, "You're the retarded guy, the retarded racist guy." I'm like, I'm neither of those things. Yeah, I'm not retarded or racist.
Hey, you heard it here, everybody. Jacob Barr, in fact, retarded and racist.
That should have been the name of the podcast.
Oh, it will be. R&R.
I've never heard anything sum it up better.
Yeah.
I do have like one CinemaSins thing to pick apart in your set. And that's that you open by saying I had sex today, and then you mentioned that your fiance is back in Michigan.
Yeah, no, total lie. It's not. Yeah, no, that's.
I mean that, or
I was
you're
like, either that, or you got
son
some
of a bitch.
road poon in Austin.
Yeah.
Got some homeless.
I told my fiance that before. I was like, I'm sorry, I gotta like. It's such an easy thing that I can open with immediately. I was like, I gotta lie up there.
It is good. It gets them immediately. Yeah.
I think people can suspend disbelief on that bit.
Right.
You know?
I don't think he actually
that's
got
gonna shatter the comedy universe.
Like, no way, this cripple didn't actually get pussy today.
You lied. I thought you nubbed him, and you did not. I was gonna smell you, dude. Like,
I bet if I smell it, it smells good.
like you washed it.
Like I just had this visual of you uppercutting a pussy, and I was like, I had to believe that.
Man, So you did the show. Hangs after, I'm guessing then.
Yeah. Oh shoot. I was gonna. This is kind of gross. I came as close to possible without actually shitting myself. I had eaten a chicken slider earlier that night, which was a big mistake. Right. And so my stomach was hurting, and I was like, I gotta go home and shit like right now. But then like one of the homeless guy who I met. He was outside of the club when they brought me out.
My man with the pussy manifesto.
Yeah, and he was like, no, dude, like you gotta stay and like talk to people after the show. I was like, oh yeah, duh, I'm an idiot.
That's crazy that he has networking. Like,
yeah, well, he just told me just to be like,
dog, you gotta stay.
So like, I stood in front of the club
as long as he can, or else he has to go back under the bridge.
Yeah, dude, it's like it's business all the time or sleeping. And so I just stood in front of the club and I got to meet like all the regulars, you know, like I met like Cam and Hans.
They made you leave the club though after.
No, well, so they offered to let me like stay in the room, and I was like, I was completely, my brain was fried. So I was like, oh, I gotta go. I don't know. My brain was cooked. But then I stood outside, and I got to talk to like Cam and Hans, and they were all super sweet to me, and like. I met tons of people, and then fucking like Ron White came out, and I got to talk to Ron White for a few minutes, and I was like. Just completely like I was like, me and my mom really liked your comedy, and he's like, I liked your comedy, and I was like, thank you.
Did Ron White see your set?
Yeah, he was in the crowd. Like,
awesome.
He goes every Monday.
Dude.
Oh wow,
dude, he looked great. I was like, part of my brain was like, oh, he must have been drunk. There's no way he would have talked to me if he was sober. But then they're like, no, he's been sober a long time. I'm like, sick.
It is crazy. Ron White. Side note, you are right. For somebody who absolutely challenged his body with alcohol for the better part of like 6 decades.
Yeah, he looks really good. Dude. Yeah. I didn't even it took me a second to be like, oh wow, he looks just like
he's got like long hair now. Right?
Yep. He's skinny.
Kind of got a southern dandy living his best life vibe.
He's so tall.
Just the other day, Dave Landau posted a picture with Ron White, and he was like, with the legend Ron White, and I thought it was a joke. I thought he was like, oh, he found a guy who kind of looked like Ron White. And then I saw it was like tagged at the Comedy Mothership. I'm like, oh no, it probably is Ron White.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I saw Landau and Matt
McClowry.
McClowry were there. Yeah, it was like, all right, some more Michigan folk.
I think Ron goes like every week. And I didn't even get to run to Genevieve and Marcus until like after that had happened. Because it's like they're, because they're popping, they're doing all kinds of stuff. So it's just like honestly, downtown Austin felt like a hub world in a video game after a few weeks because it's like you meet all these comics and they're always
I'm sorry, a what?
Like a hub world in a video game.
Gotcha.
So like everyone's just walking around downtown, and like after a few weeks and meeting a lot of the comics down there, you just walk downtown and you'd be like, oh, what's up, Ben? What's up, Mike? What's up, Jill? What's up?
Jen said that a lot of the people who work at the mothership are always like kind of tagging out to go do other spots too. So they're probably like running around town.
It's super cool.
I will say this, like I do love that within like a 3-block area of the mothership in Vulcan, there's like 7 spots to do good spots. It's like that's insane.
You can and on nights when it's just the open mics, like we were able to sign up for like 4 open mics within like blocks of each other, and we just do a spot. I'd be like 30th and 1 and 12th in the other, and you
Yeah.
just fucking bounce around.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to miss them too, but it's like sometimes you like, oh shoot, I signed up for these 2 open mics. Shit, I can't actually make this third one I signed up for, but they don't give a fuck. They're like, all right, next one on the list.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Roll
Yeah,
with
I do remember that. It definitely, it was like it's just a compact, super concentrated comedy scene,
Yeah.
which is wild.
And I think it's getting bigger. You know, it's like all the comics you meet down there, none of them are from Austin. And if you
Yeah.
meet a comic who's like a local from Austin, they're like, "Oh, these fuckers are here.
yeah,
I was here before all this."
They got gentrified. Those
Yes.
guys. Yeah.
I met a few before, and now I imagine it's bananas. I've heard so like when Comedy Store in LA before the pandemic was like having its huge come up because like Rogan and them were all there.
there were like 3 documentaries about the store that
yeah.
came out.
Well, and like
I saw the Mike Binder one. I saw
Yeah.
that one, yeah.
the potluck show there, like I remember Burkar and I were on it, and like there would be like 100 to maybe 200 open micers on that patio waiting to see if their name were on the list for potluck. And I've heard it's the same way at the Comedy Mothership's open mic, to the point where I think Jen told me once a fucking dude like flew a drone in to like read the list and like flew it out.
There is a guy, I don't know his name, but he wears like clown socks. He's like this older black guy. He wears like clown socks, and he flies a drone everywhere downtown.
That
where it's
is,
like I won't even be able to see him, but I'll just see his fucking drone.
On so many different levels, that's the most terrifying human being.
Yeah, dude.
Does he only wear clown socks because they're his only socks because he's homeless?
No, he I do not think he's homeless.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't know. Austin does seem like
Homeless
you could be
guy with a
homeless
drone
with a
would
drone.
definitely be
Yeah,
awesome.
So I saved up all this for this
yeah,
drone.
he's just at a Starbucks charging everything for the day. Like, all right.
But I don't even know what he was filming. Like I asked him one time, I was like, "Oh, what are you using the drone for?" And he's like, "B-roll, man. I'm getting a lot of B-roll."
Fucking yes,
Dude,
dude.
just like B-roll for what?
the
Like,
city, dog.
yeah, dude, just look at this shot. And he showed me a shot. I'm like, yeah, this is a great shot.
Pretty good B-roll.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's going to go great between something.
Spot on B-roll, man. I could do a voiceover on that. Like, yep, that's the list. That's wild. Okay, I don't know, man. That rules. Do you go ahead?
So
go
I was
ahead.
just saying, I can only imagine because like Michigan is not obviously a huge comedy scene, but I feel like across the open mics, especially like when you go to maybe like a Detroit or a Grand Rapids and there's more people, like you still meet a fair share of like some weirdos and some schizophrenics that just need to talk into a microphone. Like I can't imagine Austin in terms of like, because like national schizophrenics that have all decided to head to the same place.
Congregating of mental illness.
I'm sure it's getting like that LA or New York thing where people who have never done it in their life are like, I'm just gonna move there and do it and be rich and famous because I'll do it.
Well, it's like the post like, oh, my girlfriend just broke up with me. Time to revamp my life. You know, I'm going all in on comedy.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
like, dude, it's just there were people on my episode. I think there were like 2 on my episode who'd never done stand-up.
Yeah.
And they got just completely publicly humiliated.
Yeah.
And then I saw them the next week sign up. Like I
For
don't-
Kill Tony again?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
like one
that's
guy
insane.
got completely eviscerated by like Tony and Shay and all them, and like like borderline just bullying at a certain point. And then the next week he's like, "Yeah, I wrote some new jokes this time." I'm like, I don't maybe do some mics.
That kind of blows my mind that that's where that person's head is at, that they're treating Kill Tony like a regular bucket mic.
Well, it reminds me of the there was this mic in Chicago. I don't know if it's still around. The Trigger Warning show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Earl and I did that
Yeah.
one because Christian Royce tricked us. Because we were asking for stuff to
That
do.
fucking
He was like, "Oh yeah,
rascal.
trigger warning, do that." It started an hour late.
the
'cause
Black Costanza himself, he got you. Dude. He got you.
Yeah, he got you good.
Everybody was
dude.
going to see like Michael Rappaport at Zany's, and so
I'm sorry, hang on.
the show started an hour late.
Black Costanza is an incredible nickname for Christian
It
Royce.
was really good.
dude.
Yeah, he's the best.
All right. Okay.
I
so-
thought doesn't he call himself that? That's like his.
Yeah, no, he calls.
yeah.
I've
Okay.
never heard anybody else
You did
call
not
that.
dub him that.
Oh,
just-
damn,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I thought you made that up.
No.
He made that name up for
Yeah.
himself.
Branding, yeah.
What a brilliant moment of self-awareness for Christian Royce.
But we did this bucket mic, and the whole audience was comics, and we're all sitting in a circle, like just like these chairs are set up in a circle in the side room, and the comics in the middle, and they would it went on hours until everybody was pulled, right?
Yeah,
and so Nick and I went after like 2 hours, right? And we kind of quickly realized like everybody's just heckling, like Christian and everybody, the people running the show would heckle you. And then the host kept saying like, if you come back next week, we'll pull your name a little earlier. And we were like, oh, that's the trick. Yeah. A guy goes home. He's like, oh, I'm going to get these guys next week because he's going to be fuming with rage because they heckled him to death. And he's like, I'm going to get back and I'm going to go on earlier and I'm going to be ready. Yeah. And it's like, it's almost the same mindset that I think those guys who like totally ate shit on Kill Tony when they come back. It's like this time
I'm gonna get him this time.
Yeah, dude. If it's the only thing you're doing, that's psychotic.
No, that's
like
crazy.
if you're doing mics all
week
and then like you added it in the rotation, it's like cool, you're getting that stage time. But it's like if you're like, I'm gonna train up, I'm gonna get him next week. It's like, dude, that's insane.
Did I tell you? I've told this story too many times, so I don't think I've told it on the podcast. But when it was Nick's turn up. At one point they just and he's just trying to do his material. Like none of us were good. We were still very early on and we weren't like good at responding to people.
You're adventuring.
And they just heckle him into a corner and everyone's laughing and he goes like this and like he rubs his eyes and he goes like, so I've been working out lately.
No.
I think about that almost every day.
God damn.
Just Nick dejectedly starting a new premise.
Dude, sitting in it and then trying to do prepared material is like, it's like watching an honorable knight fight a scallywag where I'm like, dog, drop the sword and go for the throat.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?
But the thing about the Kill Tony audience is I feel like they're not generous, like
you think they would be because like I don't know, it's a cool environment,
and they're comedy fans.
Sometimes they're rough.
I went to a part of the internet that I'm like, I don't know if I need to see this as somebody struggling.
Well, no, I was just going to say that I'll see sets from people where I'm like, I can see that doing well in other places.
Yeah,
and they'll just get annihilated, And I'm like,
they hate Chad Daniels right now.
Oh, my God.
They're out to get Chad. I saw that subreddit.
Well, which I was going to bring up. The only time I went on Reddit, and specifically like the Kill Tony subreddit, was after your appearance.
Yeah.
And
thank God they were nice to me. I was so scared.
There wasn't a single person who didn't
dude,
like
you did well. You handled like a weird situation. Who's the dude with cerebral palsy who went off on
Martin
Chad?
Phillips.
Martin Phillips seems like cool, but like that was weird. Like he had a weird.
So the thing, look, I think like Chad Daniels maybe should have just been briefed a little more on like the vibe of the show. Because, dude, his comments on his YouTube now are brutal, dude. Like I looked at one of his videos and all the comments are like, oh, so you're trying comedy? Like, oh, God.
Do you think he could have? Because I think it really happened when Chad went on his own podcast and he talked about it.
Yeah.
Because I think at first everybody was like, oh, that stuff between him and William was just like, they were just having fun. They shook hands at the end. And when he was clearly kind of bothered by it and admitting like, oh, I thought I was going to have to punch him, that's when people turned on Chad. I think that was the moment.
But like something I've noticed is like the Kill Tony crowd seems to be its own insular comedy audience. Mm-hmm. I know there's some people that like Kill Tony that like other comedians, but it seems like there's now an alt comedy scene that is mainstream now. Like Mothership and Kill Tony seems to be like mainstream comedy.
Is there
right
a word
now.
you want to put after that alt? Is there like
another
word? It's gonna go in between.
No, dog. But that's a good point.
You
I
leave
meant
me and my
of
conservative boys alone.
No, sorry.
They're
sorry
the
to
good boys.
To the new OAN listeners, I apologize.
Yeah, dog. I'm repping OAN.
We're just having fun here.
How dare you? How dare you? You go over there with your liberal takes and you're actually being down with Chinese Rocket Force, the PLA branch. No, I don't.
But
I don't know.
that you're right. I mean, I met tons of people down there who were just like, "Yeah, I watch Kill Tony, and I don't really like stand up, and they don't really understand."
I've heard like other professional comics that we know that talk about. They're like, "Yeah, it's its own."
Yeah,
like the Rogan bump and the Kill Tony bump is its own collective like group of comedy fans. But then I look at like a sold out Drew Lynch show, and I'm like, I don't think these people watch Kill Tony.
Well, that's
fair.
Yeah, like, that's a good point. Yeah,
it's just like different spheres and like the
Mike Birbiglia fans don't watch Kill
right.
Tony.
Oh yeah, no, God, no.
The subjective
Chad Daniel fans probably don't watch.
Probably not.
No, well, that's what kind of blew my mind is like when people were actively saying Chad Daniels isn't a good or funny comic, I'm like, I mean, objectively, that's just incorrect if you watch any of his
He
specials.
sells tickets. He crushes. Like,
Yeah,
but
it's-
I kind of look. But here's the thing: in defense of like Kill Tony, like I kind of get like why fans would watch that and see, like the fans who go to see the show live. I would imagine those people watch the show a lot.
Oh, for sure.
So they
For
know
sure.
a lot
yeah.
about Martin Phillips, who, by
Yeah.
the way, fucking crushes.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
guy
Yeah,
is
he's
No,
crushes.
he's super funny. I was just kind of, even when I was watching the clip, I was almost like, holy shit. Like, for a second, I was like, is he? And then when you watch it, I'm like, no, he's going off on Chad.
I think, but
real quick.
he's also. I mean, he's feeding. It's a good crowd for that too, and Chad talks about this on the podcast too, where he was like a big thing in that crowd is like if you're just like screaming and you're angry, like they do like that.
Oh yeah,
because it's like it's a raucous, like almost like concert crowd, right? So when William Montgomery is like, I could fight you,
Which-
like that's for them. You coming out and yelling, I just had sex today is perfect,
I do love William, and I remember the first time I saw him, it was at a Savage Henry.
Oh yeah,
and he was like friends with the Denver boys, like he knew all the Denver boys, and he came out with his notebook doing what he does, and I mean, like Casey Rocket and William Montgomery, like that style of humor sometimes will just rip me apart.
Yeah.
I'll be laughing so hard, and seeing William do that like live, and I wasn't sure. I'm like, is this an act or is this just who this guy
yeah. The
is?
face, like some people just have so much comedy like on their face.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Oh, like he'll just look at like his eyes. Like he's one of the only comedians that I really, when I watch his sets, like watch where his eyes are moving. and, like, It's
His
scary.
wink
Yeah.
is iconic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Casey's great too. Like Casey, like I watched actually somebody I'm friends with is subscribed to his Patreon, and we watched his he had like a big chunk on his Patreon that we watched, and it's the craziest thing to watch like an hour of his stuff. It's like he does memes at the beginning of the set, and then he like fucks around with them for 45 minutes, and then there's like normal jokes that just pop in out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he was the clip, the hour that we watched on his Patreon, he was completely murdering within like 2 seconds. He like walked on stage and he did this thing where he like put his hands over his eyes and he had googly eyes all over his hands. It was fucking nuts.
I remember I saw him at the Creek in the Cave, Austin, just at the outside open mic. And again, like the minute he hit the stage and the mic, I was like, different level guy. And he was ripping it up. And then you talk to him off stage. I'm like, oh, he's a down to earth dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, it's an act. He's a comic.
Dude, and the regulars down there, from what I saw, were grinding. Like, I got to talk to Cam a lot, and like Cam would just like pop up in places, and like he's always trying. You got to do a minute on that show every week, so he's just constantly like doing shit.
Yeah,
and
Cam's
he's
my
crushing.
favorite.
Oh,
Cam
yeah, he's so
Patterson's
sweet.
incredible.
He's great.
I showed my brother the clip of him talking to
Tucker Carlson.
It's
Yeah.
incredible. Cam Patterson is one of my favorites.
He was way nicer to me than he even he needed to be. Like when I saw him, I ran into a Creek in the Cave, and he helped me get on like some shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was within like a few minutes of meeting him. Like I just done the show one time, but he was so nice to me and like very just genuine out of nowhere.
outside comic looking in. What's crazy is like it seems like the fans are like pretty hypercritical and like quick to cut in your throat, but the comics seem to be like very chill.
Yeah.
Some of them not. But most of the regulars seem to be pretty chill. The few I've met like briefly were cool. And then we don't need to bring up some of the shit bags, but there are some shit bags. But the overwhelming majority I've heard from most of the regulars, and even like the golden ticket winners, seem to be like, just happy that they can help or be there.
Yeah, and there's like a weird community. Like after I did it, like I got a lot of DMs from people who'd been like on the show once or twice, and they were like, hey, like, in case you get a lot of mean Reddit comments, like don't like fucking let that get to you. And like there are people who like
I think I know a couple people that probably said that.
Yeah.
It's just like because they are vicious, but they buy tickets. Like my shows this weekend in Peoria are selling okay, and it's like
Yeah.
It's like wild that they have Kill Tony fans that'll go out to.
That's where I can't fault the show. It does aggregate.
It will make a career.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm like you can, and then from there, do whatever you want. People
Right.
are ride or die Jacob fans.
If I could psychoanalyze some of those guys for a second,
Please.
like I think that part of the reason why like a lot of the regulars there, the golden ticket winners and stuff probably are good guys is like it's just yesterday they were the same as everyone they're talking to. They're very not that far removed from like the regular struggling open micer or struggling semi-working comic, right? And they just had that one little thing that's bumped them above, but they're not like I don't know, they're not Jim Gaffigan.
right,
Like,
right.
Well, and a lot of them are like freaked out where it's like, to do a minute in front of that large audience, and a lot of the regulars or golden ticket people, like, they have a lot of experience, but like maybe not as much experience for the internet to expect of them. Where you go on the show every week, you do a minute. If someone doesn't like 1 minute, you might get thousands and thousands of hate comments because they didn't like 1 minute of your stand up. But it's like, bro, I've been doing this for so and so many years. Like, it's fucking hard.
I've seen people that I know and people that I mean, the infamous Jeff Horst episode. I've seen,
God, they were so mean to Jeff
good
Horst.
comics go on and not do great, and I'm just like I don't know what was in the water that night. I don't know what the energy was because also it's the middle of a show where a bunch of people have gone on and off or whatever. But like it should not be the be all end all of whether or not somebody's funny.
No,
But that might be the only thing that they see, which is so cruel. Where it's like, what if like you're a comic, you go on there and you're like pretty established, you just do like shit, and then you're like, damn, no one's buying tickets to my show anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Well, but I think the thing of like the overlapping audience is like Chad Daniels still gonna sell fine.
Oh yeah, he's
it's
fine,
like
yeah.
Well, he already had a following.
He's gonna take a hit, or like a new comic that beefs it. If they still go and figure it out,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like all right, they'll be fine.
I saw Chad Daniels on a lineup at it was Burt Kreischer's Fully Loaded tour.
Yeah.
And so he was on a lineup with like Burt and Fortune Feimster and Jay Farrow and Luis Gomez and Big J and all these guys, and Chad crushed like the hardest, like harder than anybody, and it was like a big, we were at a baseball field, and that was before.
Was that the Lugnuts?
It was
Or
Lugnuts.
not? Yeah.
No, it wasn't Lugnuts. No, it was near Traverse City. Jordan ran away.
Okay, yeah.
But that was like, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
He'll be okay. Also, like, I don't know, everything moves so fast now. Like,
Yeah,
Kill
the
Tony
internet will get
fans.
bored of commenting mean things on his videos, and
Yeah.
then, they'll move on. Especially the fans, because it's like a new episode will come out every week, and then some new freak will pop up, and they could be mean to somebody
There's always
else.
new guys that
yeah.
come along.
Yeah, I feel like you get a harsh lesson in the Streisand effect.
Yeah.
It's
It's sort of like when a dog has a shoe in his mouth and then you like hold out a treat so he'll like drop the shoe.
Yeah.
It's like that with just new comics.
well,
to-
just
for
let
them
it
to
burn
attack.
through. You
Yeah,
know, it's
yeah.
like all right, like you're gonna take some heat. I don't know, man. Like, well, because Jacob, you've gone viral before.
I
Kill
get.
Tony, right?
I mean, like, I've had some videos do pretty well, or
Okay.
like, so I think so the main thing that I almost got that I was really proud of was I almost got on the relaunch of G4 TV,
Nice.
and that was like the closest I ever thought I was gonna
back
get.
in the day or because of this?
Oh no, back in the day.
Oh, okay.
This was like 4 years ago.
G4's coming back.
Yeah, well,
Like,
not
all right.
anymore. Actually, funny story about that. I'm gonna make a whole video about it, but it's like I had made like an audition tape, they were doing a relaunch, and like it picked up a lot of traction on their subreddit, and I got like 2 callbacks. I made like a sketch, and they liked the sketch. I made some writing packets, and they liked the writing packets. And there was like a whole week where I was like, oh shit, I think like I'm gonna get this, and like I think I might like, oh, they're gonna be back on TV, like I'm gonna be on TV or whatever. And then I was talking to like one of the main hosts of the show that I used to watch as a kid, and then completely silent. I was like, all right, well, I guess I didn't get it. And then like 6 months later, they were like, yeah, we're not relaunching this shit. Turns out they don't need a TV channel for like YouTube videos about video games now.
Ah, damn, dude. Yeah.
But after that, I was like, oh, well, I was probably like, that was it. Now it's gone,
That could have been the Babel to your Esteban.
Yeah.
God damn, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
But it was one of those things where it's like, I've gotten close to a couple of things, and then it gets taken away, and like, I don't know, it just keeps my expectations low. And it's like I don't expect I don't know. I got to a point where I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere ever.
Well, dog,
which is fine.
Midwest road dogs for a decade are,
Well, that's what I love.
imagine the expectation train. You're like,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what we're getting into here. Like,
But that's the dream. Is like now that I'm getting like more work on the road, it's like I don't really need anything like else in a sense. Like if I can like get enough dates next year to where like I can travel around and do a lot of stand up and like I can take a little less hours at my job that is brutal sometimes, and that would be the dream. I don't want to be greedy. Like if more things happen after this is cool. But it's like I'm gonna run with this as hard as I can and secure as many dates as I can and just I don't know, make videos on my Instagram.
I think it's the beginning of a good upward swing, man.
Fingers crossed.
Like, and also it's like maybe you hit a new level, kind of plateau in a good way. Like not plateau in, like talent-wise or anything.
I'll take a plateau.
But just kind of like establish like a level of where you're gonna be at, and then hit another thing that'll raise you up.
And ultimately, I'm happy with whatever happens. So it's like if nothing happens after this, I go back to school or whatever. Like I have my fiance, and I love her. She's just the greatest person in my life, and it's like ultimately, if I just have her and my normal job, and I can do some fun open mics at the showcase, like I'll be happy.
Yeah,
The sentence you just coined, "I'll take a plateau," is like that's my motto.
Yeah.
Plateau sounds cool.
It's still not on ground level. It's like I got somewhere.
It's not a decline.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Making enough money to live doing this would be epic.
Yeah, I don't need.
And like, I mean, like live, not like holy shit, I can eat this month. Like, like,
I mean, before I had her, I was even fine with that. I was like, if I
yeah.
could live in my little studio apartment by myself and just make barely enough to just do stand up, like I would have been happy with that. So I don't know. Whatever happens is cool.
Yeah, man. I think more cool things are on their way for you. Especially like I don't know, man. Good episode, good comics. Saw you, liked you. I'm like, I don't know. And if you get booked more,
we were talking about Joke World. Did you see the Joke World recap of that episode?
Yeah. It was.
Oh shit!
And he like specifically stops, and he was just like, one comic got as close to being as funny as Shane and Adam. And
I was gonna say.
Well,
he kind of trashed every other.
He trashed everybody that was.
He
on
said
except
everybody
for you.
bombed except you that night. I was like, damn, dog, way to stand it all the way out.
It felt real surreal and like I don't know, like. It just felt like such lightning in a bottle, and it's just weird watching it, right? So the night that it came out, because it was supposed to be a 3-week delay.
Oh, shit.
And then Trump got shot. And then it was really funny. So I was at the Creek in the Cave on Sunday, and I ran into Drew Nickens, and he's like, man, your episode's coming out tomorrow. And I was like, well, what do you mean? It's supposed to be like 3 weeks? He was like, oh, no, Trump got shot. Now it's coming out tomorrow.
Damn, dude.
I was like, fuck. And then, like, I'm watching it.
Used the assassination.
So they were riding the high of the Trump.
Yeah. So then it was gonna come out, and then I was watching it in Texas in my room with my buddy Mort and this crazy guy who. So I was living in an Airbnb for the summer. It was me, Mort, Victor Paredes came down.
Victor, yeah.
Yeah, so actually he caused a little bit of a stir by accident. It's sweet man. I'll get to it. So
whoa,
it wasn't him. It was just somebody's reaction to him.
What'd you do, Victor?
No. So, dude, I feel so bad for Victor that he had to go through this. So I lived at a house.
Okay.
And it was me and Mort living in this room, and then there were like 4 other dudes who lived in this house. They were all super cool. One guy did jujitsu. He was like,
fuck yeah, dude.
And I was a little, I didn't think he was gonna like me at first because he was like a big.
Are you still rolling?
Oh, I'm trying. I'm more just experiment.
Clear out this table a little bit. Do some ground moves.
So it's like I'm a big violence nerd. So we bonded on that, and there were all these cool guys there, and there were dogs there. Anyway, there was this one guy there. Let's just say his name's Mike. And so this guy Mike, me and Mort moved in.
Wait, hang on. Is that his name?
No, it's not his real name. Yeah, it's not his real name.
What's his actual name?
His first last name.
I don't think he would. I don't think he is it. So
yeah, CRF does have pull, dude. We're gonna go fuck Mike up after
this guy Mike, at first when we move in, cool guy. We find out everything we find out about him makes us a little freaked out about him because he was like, we're asking like what he did for work, and he was like Elder Scrolls Online, baby. And I was like, that's very vague and strange.
What?
So what's wrong with him?
Well, so
he's
making
so
money
far.
off of selling e-buck stuff.
Okay, this is gonna kind of a long story, but I promise it's valuable. So
we're in it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, so so like he told us like he met his girlfriend on Elder Scrolls Online. They've been dating for 6 years. He hasn't seen her in 2 years. She's married to a woman and has a child with another man that's not him. So we're like, well, this is weird. Why are you doing this?
Real
He's like,
love box.
Yeah, he's like, I love her. I love her so much. And I'm like, I don't know. She like, she's married to a woman. So I don't know what the fuck.
With another man's child.
But at this point, he was just goofy, and it's like, I like goofy people. I was like, all right, you're a weird guy. I'm fucking weird. Who cares?
Everyone has baggage when you start dating.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
We all got a past.
Yeah. So
a
he was
present.
Yeah.
cool for a long time, and then after he was watching the Kill Tony episode with us, and it was real nice.
Is he a comic?
No,
Okay.
just some guy. And then he started acting really weird, like hard out of nowhere. He started to like think we were talking shit about him. And he would tell us like, he'd be like, the walls are really thin, right? I can hear lots of stuff. And I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think I heard you guys talking shit about me and I don't really like that. And I'm like, bro, like if I had a problem with you, like I would tell you. I was like, Mike, I like you. Like, you're cool. We've been hanging out. Like, what is all this about? And he was like, oh, sorry. I think I'm just being paranoid or whatever. And then that same conversation happened multiple times. And
with like other roommates, he'd go up.
no,
to
just
other
with
roommates?
me and Mort. He just really thought, because we both lived upstairs. Me and Mort lived in a room. He lived down the hall.
Okay.
So he really zoned in on us. And
Oh, boy.
so we thought we were talking shit. And we were like, no, we're not. This is weird. And yes.
I do have the house you were living in. This is like a Craigslist flop house, or like.
No, it's just this guy owns an Airbnb. He lives at the Airbnb.
Got it. All right.
Just
Sorry.
it kind of felt like a cooperative house in the sense that like people shared groceries and stuff. Were hanging out.
Gotcha.
I made everybody a low-take cornbread casserole. Yeah, it was the most lardy thing I've ever made, but it was really good.
Can I just say one thing real quick? So he's a man, does not have a traditional home, does not have a real job, has
35.
Has a fake lesbian girlfriend with children, and he also hears voices at night that aren't actually there.
And you're telling
he hasn't signed up for Kill Tony.
Yeah, he doesn't do comedy. This guy's probably
Sounds
fucking
like-
hilarious.
I think we started to inspire him a bit, but
He sounds like the average Kill Tony guy.
but then something really creepy started happening. So
Jesus Christ,
Mort slept
so
on
far
this
it's been
bed.
normal.
Yeah, Mort slept on this bed. I slept on the day bed because it wasn't like a gay thing. He was like, you should sleep in the bed with me. It's fine. I like sleeping. If I'm in a new spot, I need a hard surface or I get sleep paralysis really bad. So I was just sleeping on this day bed, and my head was right next to the door. And I keep almost saying his real name. Mike
sounded like Chris if I was in the
Shit,
FBI.
yeah, whatever you do.
Craig. Oh, it's Chris.
Yeah, it's Chris.
I'll
whatever.
slur alert
It doesn't
over all
matter.
that.
He ain't gonna see this. But so my head would be next to the door, and he smoked cigarettes a lot, so he would pace around a lot at night. He'd get inside
In the hallway, just ripping darts.
No, he'd go down to do his darts.
Okay.
And but the thing was, our door was right next to the stairs, so I started to hear him walking down the hallway, but not go down the stairs.
Okay.
So I was telling Mort this. I was like, Mort, I think he's like walking down at night and listening to us because I hear him walk down and then walk away. And he's like, I don't know if we're being paranoid. And then he started to think it too. And then one morning, I heard him do it. And I was like, I'm fucking done with this.
Yeah.
And I fucking wait for him to do it. And I open the door really quick. And he's standing right next to our door. And he's instantly like deer in headlights. I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, what's going on? This is, by the way, after we've had 3 conversations that were basically like, I hear you talking shit. We're not talking shit. Okay, I'm sorry. So I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I was just waiting to use the bathroom. Yeah, I was waiting. Keaton said he was going to come up. And I was like, bro, you're fucking weird. Get the fuck away from me, right?
Yeah.
And we talk again. He's like, I wasn't listening to you. I'm sorry. I don't want you to think that. And I was like, whatever, dude. At this point, I'm like, I'm kind of getting sick of this guy. So next day comes.
Now, that's the line.
It's going to get way worse.
Oh, God.
So way worse. So I'm on the phone with my...
Is this all post your appearance?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And he saw your appearance?
Yeah.
Do you think that at all influenced this weirdness?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so. I think you'll know the influence.
Oh, shit. Here we go. All right.
So one day I'm on the phone with my mom and I hear from down the hallway yell, bro, I hear you talking shit. You better knock that off. And I hang up. I was like, I'm sorry, Mom. I hang up the phone. I walk into the hallway. I'm fucking screaming at him. I'm like, I was on the phone with my mom, you fucking psycho. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Do you have a fucking problem with me? Because I'm not scared of you. You play Elder Scrolls Online for a living. And we get into this.
Also, how? I want to get to that later.
He doesn't make it's just what he
going.
does. And that's how he spends it. There's no money. It's just what this job. You don't have to get paid to love your job.
I love it. I'm gonna start telling people Lego. Then when I start, what do you do? Lego.
It's like, yeah, my job is hentai.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And he fucking scurries back into his room and he bitches out. And I was like, that's interesting. So then I hear him go downstairs and have a normal conversation with one of our other roommates. At this point, I'm full aggroed. I go down, I'm like, bro, do we have a fucking problem? Do we need to fight? Or like, what the hell is going on? And he's like, oh, I just hear you talking shit. I'm like, I was talking to my mom. Yeah. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. Diffused. We talked. He gave me... every time this would happen, he would tell me more about his life story, and I just didn't care. And it's like... He'd been through some shit, and I'm like, that's
trauma dumping to cover craziness.
Right. So then the next day, we weren't even talking at all. We were just sitting in our room, and the same thing happened. So at this point, I'm like, I go down to him. I'm like, bro, listen, like, I'm fucking sick of you. Like, I'm like, nobody... Like, I was just saying this nicely. You're not that important for us to talk shit about you. But now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm going to be honest. Now we are talking shit because you're acting weird. And then he confesses to me. He's like, okay. He had been alluding that there was something going on with him that he didn't want to talk to us about, that he was embarrassed about. I thought it was just that he smelled bad. Because, like, for reference, I can't smell. And, he was a greaseball guy. And I was like, oh, maybe he's just, like, weird about...
No way, the guy who plays Elder Scrolls Online, smelly?
And he was just... I thought he was just paranoid about his living environment, because it's like, I used to be like that in the sense that, like,
Is he, like, a gamer?
Yeah.
Like, because I've been in gamer grease before.
Yeah. He was
or
a
was
hardcore
it, like,
gamer.
next level?
Hardcore. And I think it's what he did all day.
Okay.
And...
was he a bad-looking guy, like a sloppy-looking...
Yeah. I mean, I'd say he was okay looking. He had long hair. If he had just,
On the handsome to butthead dweller, where are we going?
Butthead dweller.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But it's just like...
All right.
So he can, he's like, I thought that he said there was something going on he wouldn't talk about. I just thought he was weird about living space. I was like, I have Crohn's or whatever. I feel gross constantly. So I was like, okay, maybe we can relate to that. And before I tell you what the thing was, I need you to also understand at this point in time, he started doing a real shining thing. He started wearing this like Letterman jacket. He told me he told me he was like, one of the talks we had where he gave me his life story. He's like, yeah, dude, I actually got this jacket. My dad died. I have this like Letterman jacket. It's like a football jacket. It meant a lot to my dad. I never wear it. He started wearing it like every day. And so then we're having this talk.
He's amping up.
He's in
right on the burial suit.
He's calling in the power of the ancestors buried for this fight, dude.
This is like when T'Challa went to talk to his dad.
He's putting on the ancestral armor to fight you.
So we're outside. Also, at this point, Victor Paredes has moved in, and he fucking hated Victor. He thought
just
Victor
hated his vibe.
Well, it was like because before Victor came down, we debriefed him. We were like, "Hey, Victor, really?" Because he was really excited to come down, and we were.
Was Victor staying for a couple of
weeks? Yeah.
Or did he rent out a room down there?
No, so we just all stayed in the same room. We were just huddling in. It was a good time.
Gotcha.
And Victor's a great roommate, very easy to live with, and a sweet guy. But we had debriefed him because he was real excited to come down. He's like, "I'm fucking coming down. I'm driving down. We're gonna hang out for the rest of the summer." He felt real empowered. You're like, "You guys have been down there having fun. Let's go now." And but we had to warn him on the way. We're like, hey, this guy Chris is a little fucking crazy, and he was like, oh my god. So he knew that coming in, and I guess Chris could like sense that Victor knew this coming in.
Somebody told you about me.
Yeah, because he was immediately like, I get the impression Victor doesn't like me, and I'm like, he doesn't.
Here's the thing, Victor, I think he's got enough awareness. Any one of us, we roll up to a would-be. Not hostile, but in this case, hostile Airbnb, but a hostile Airbnb, where a guy is wearing his dead father's Letterman jacket, smoking
constantly,
just constantly ripping.
You're
darts.
talking about me,
just going like,
bro,
hey,
he was stealing from us, dude. He would fucking steal. Like Mort came upstairs one day and he's like, "Hey, have you been eating my Eggo waffles?" And I was like, I only ate the two that I told you about and that other one. He's like, that's what I thought, because they're like all gone. And then we were like, oh, one time Chris tried to take us out for Taco Bell and then didn't have any money, and then we had to pay for it. That was a little weird. And then anyway, so all this leads up. We're standing outside. At this point, I'm ready to fucking kill this guy. I'm so sick of him. And he's like...
He's just waiting for the scrolls to pay. He's got to go on a quest to get more Taco Bell money.
Dude,
maybe I can finally move and live with my gay girlfriend.
Yeah, he's like, dude, the Dark Brother quest line is. I'm going through it right now.
That's fucking nuts. Because are we talking like Oblivion or is he?
No, Elder Scrolls Online. So
is that its own MMO?
Yeah, I told him I
Alright.
liked Skyrim, and he was such a gatekeeper about it. He was like, yeah, dude, I'm playing that Skyrim shit. I only play Elder Scrolls Online. I'm like,
shit,
that one's
yeah.
worse. That
Well,
one's
you hang on. You did walk into that, dumbass.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you're
fucking
talking
up.
to a pro.
I shouldn't have messed with the turbo versions. And
Yeah. Well,
How'd you meet your fiance in real life, you loser?
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
this guy's pulling from online. How dare you talk about him like that?
He's
You
pulling-
guys should have bought him Taco Bell.
He's pulling elderly lesbian women. She was much
Yeah.
older than him.
I think he's pulling himself while
I'm
she
sorry.
scissors her wife.
Are we too woke to say experienced on this channel? He's got an experienced lesbian wife.
I'm sorry, I'm ageist. And but anyway, so we're
You stepped on
outside.
me making a scissoring joke.
Shit.
Now everyone's gonna hear it.
No,
bomb.
dude, no.
Now I'm gonna get kill Tony.
Big dog.
in our
No,
subreddit.
Nah, dude.
No,
None of
that
that
Johnny
here.
Mockney guy kept interrupting with his scissoring jokes.
I'm
So
the new Chad Daniels.
yeah, dude. Okay, so we're outside. At this point, I'm ready to throw hands with him, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna tell you the shit I didn't want to tell anybody. All right. He's like, I've been smoking real hard, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I gotta stop smoking weed too. You know, like I have a real problem. And he's like, no, I mean crack.
That's epic, dude.
Hard is crack. It's I didn't realize.
Smoking hard means crack?
Yeah, smoking
That's
hard. Yeah,
awesome.
smoking hard.
Smoking hard.
And he's
All
like,
right.
yeah, I'm smoking crack. And I was like,
that'll lead to some paranoia.
yeah. And he's like, I haven't been sleeping too good. And I'm like, yeah, probably because of the crack.
Yep.
And I'm like, I tried immediately at this point in my head, I'm like, I should probably tell Keaton about this. He'd probably want to know if his tenant is smoking crack upstairs.
Is
and
it tenant or guest?
No, he's a tenant. Yeah, he was a tenant. He was somehow paying rent. We never figured out. Mort thought it was like a. So he would say he had a bunch of friends that would like help him get like tickets places. It felt, according to Mort, it felt a lot like a Cousin Kyle situation from that episode of South Park where they kept sending him away.
Like a guy who was underwater on a mortgage, and it's just like I gotta fill this with characters
I gotta get
to
this-
make payments.
It was such a
And
lovely
in
house.
25 years, I will be able to evict them all.
So he tells me this, and I'm just like, in my head, I'm going to tell the Airbnb guy, but I tried to do the social worker thing. I tried to be like, can I help connect you with somebody? Like, is there, like, do you want to help get into a center? Like, I'm sorry that you're going through that. Like, crack is bad. Like, I work with a lot of people who've been addicted to crack for a long time. It's real rough. And he's like, nah, I think I can handle it. I'm like, clearly you can't. Clearly you can't because you're screaming at us from down the hall.
Yeah.
So I tell Keaton, and Keaton is like, I am so sorry, I will handle this. Because I brought up to Keaton at this point already. I'm like, hey, Chris is freaking out at us. Like, can you help us out? And he was like, well, I can't, like, technically evict him yet. And then, well, the crack thing. So they boot him out, and they confiscate his crack. And
Oh, that's weak.
yeah, they confiscate the crack, but I can tell you the difference between good and bad crack because of my job.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, can I see the
Fucking
crack?
having a good time.
Right. So I was like, show me the crack.
Was it smoky?
No. So good crack is not good, but so it should have some trace of cocaine in it. Crack cocaine.
Right.
It should have a glint to it. It should be like a small, dense rock. That's what cocaine is. And crack cocaine should be kind of close to that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be pure cocaine, but like you should be able to tell that there's some coke in it.
Yeah.
They showed me this really dusty piece of chalk looking thing. There's no shine to it. And I put on a latex glove and I crushed it with my hand.
Meth?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It was, who the fuck knows? It wasn't crack. There was no cocaine in that crack.
I mean, I knew some dudes back when I was living downtown, where they would talk about how sometimes their crack and or cocaine would last for like 12 hours. And then you got to be like, dog, you are doing meth.
Yeah,
Like,
there's not
somebody is lying to you.
Crack
and-
lasts for 15 minutes tops.
Yeah, whereas meth, well, that'll take you through the night.
Right.
Was there more to Victor causing a skirmish? Was there more?
So
to that?
Victor just like, he would like confront Victor. He'd be like, he's like, dude, you have a problem with me and I don't like it. Victor's like, bro, I just got here. I don't even fucking know you. He's like, Victor, like, I won't say it. He was going through some shit. He's trying to relax and have fun in Austin. He's got this crazy guy down his neck. So it kind of felt like Victor really ignited the situation in the sense that now there was another person against Chris. Because, like, he thought he had, like, Mort in the back pocket. Like, Mort, sweetheart, was able to stay out of most of this. Chris really just zoomed in on me and Victor. And
Damn, dog.
yeah, and so he got booted out. And they got him a hotel room for a week, which they did not need to, which was cool that they did that. And I don't know where the fuck he is now.
Well, probably signing up for Kill Town.
You should.
He's perfectly modeled for it.
Yeah.
It's like Tony made him in a lab.
But it was like a whole. It was so sad because it's like we went from being like, this is a cool guy,
Yeah.
to like, dude, this guy, I'm gonna have to fucking fight this guy.
I do love the idea of you walking up and, for lack of a better terms, really being like, let's fucking throw hands,
Yeah, I just
motherfucker.
was sick of it. And dude,
Yeah.
I was shocked because I was like, when I yell at someone, I typically expect him not to be intimidated by me.
Yeah.
It's understandable. Why would you? And I'm not saying he was necessarily intimidated by me, but he fucking bitched out when I screamed at him, and I was like, "Do you have a fucking problem? Do you want to fight me? I will fight you. I am not afraid of you whatsoever."
I think you got that dog in you, and then if to borrow too much from Fight Club, most people don't want to get into altercations.
Right.
So
And I
it's
had
like
a
if you
plan.
actually like kind of call somebody out, more often than not, they're gonna back all the way down.
I have, a combat plan. Most fights start with a push. My biggest issue in fighting is closing distance. They push me, latch onto that arm, take them down, fuck them up.
Hell yeah, dude. We're gonna move this table. We're gonna do some rolling.
Okay,
That's
I'm
the
already getting
post-credit.
sweaty,
you,
dude.
You're
This
gonna
is
you're gonna
great.
fuck my other knee up. I can tell. I was like, oh no, dude. I don't want any of that.
I had a lot of eggs for
I
breakfast.
love the
just farted
character
on them.
arc of going from like, oh, this guy's cool, to oh, he's a psycho and he's trying to start fights, to like, oh, he's just addicted to crack.
Yeah, it was honestly.
kind
I
of
thought
a-
it was going to be worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like now I wanted him to be more of a villain, but I'm like the fact that he was ripping darts, wearing his dad's Letterman, and asking for help. I'm like, nah, this guy's not a villain.
I'll be honest,
Jesus.
I half expected him to die at the end of the story.
Yeah. All right,
Well, so
well, there it is.
the last contact we heard from Chris was Keaton had got a message from, because he had left a bunch of his shit at the house when they kicked him out, and they had to go get it to him. And he stole a bunch of shit from
Yeah.
the house. So one of the guys, Malcolm, living there, was like, "Hey, he stole my headphones. I'm gonna look through his suitcase to see if he stole my headphones."
Son of a
And he
gun.
was like, he opened it and he was like, "Bro, everything in here is like wet. Like I'm not
Oh,
going through
no.
this shit." And he had messaged Chris like, "Hey, we got to get you your bag. How's staying at the hotel?" And he's like, "There was a police raid at the hotel. I had to burn all my clothes."
Oh no.
Yeah, and he somehow got more
Hate it when
crack.
the cops make you burn your.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, and
He got more cocaine-less crack.
cocaine
somewhere
list crack,
I
dude.
I think he got some Austin Sweet, baby.
It was some of the worst
Under
crack
the
I've
sink-
ever seen, dude.
Yeah, it's probably under the sink meth, baby. Not that I've ever.
Hey, I've done look,
Yeah.
full transparency, I've done every drug except for crack and heroin. I've technically had meth because I did ecstasy, and I think there was definitely a little meth in that ecstasy.
A little cocktail.
Yeah, dude. Well, we went to Pinball Pete's on ecstasy. We were
That's
having,
how
Yeah.
it starts.
we were having a
Yeah.
great time, and then we got back to our friend Janae's apartment. Shout out, and we were just like, damn, it's like 5 a.m. and we're not tired, and we're just like aggressively smoking weed, like just
Yeah.
like we're doing bong rips. Like, why aren't I tired?
Yeah.
I can't make it stop.
You're on some powerful uppers there, friend.
Hey, yep, it was a great time. though.
I was gonna say, I think Zach and I have smoked a couple of Jeffries in our day, where I've actively done a few, like, a few of the drugs, and then I've smoked some things where I'm like, whoop, this wasn't that. But,
Doing skee ball and ecstasy sounds like a real.
yeah.
I mean, you're never
True.
gonna get tired, baby.
Oh no.
Do you boys, because we, no time limits, no bedtime tonight.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to take a quick pee break, chill
Yeah,
for a
that'd
second,
be
get
cool.
back,
Sure,
get
yeah.
back to it?
Yeah,
then
that's
we'll
what
talk
I'm
about
Let it
crack.
roll. Yeah,
Commercial
we can
break.
keep it going.
I have a rider for when I do become a headliner. It's all ready to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it then?
It's just goldfish.
Oh,
I'm
all
cheap
right.
as hell because it comes out of your pay. I'm like, I don't want that.
No.
Yeah, that's
No,
that's
I don't actually have a rider. I made that up.
Dude, I'm down. Goldfish is snack crackers or the animal?
It would be no, yeah, the animal. Like
Yeah.
a whole,
Yeah.
it's a Thai thing.
yeah. I thought it'd be a Pollock thing, not knowing which is which.
We did. I would do like goldfish and probably a Miller High Life. That's my lucky comedy drink. Probably.
All right.
Yeah, I want some granola bars maybe, but I can
Man.
get those myself.
I've
Yeah,
been
you can get them on the
fucking
way.
boozing too hard lately,
Yeah.
and I'm like, it's not enough that I'm going into like I'm just gonna be a guy who's drinking right now. It's enough that I'll drink, feel like shit, and be like, "Wow," and then like not drink long enough, and then drink again. Like summer weekend drinking. Like I'll be drinking once every 2 weeks, and it's like it's not enough for the liver of the body to turn into a piece of shit alcohol factory.
Thankfully, alcohol just makes like my stomach hurt too bad. So like I'll drink like every 4 or 5 months.
Okay,
And I smoke way too much pot, but it's like I'll take that over. How booze makes me feel.
Just gotta do like some ecstasy instead.
Yeah, dude.
Put ecstasy on the right.
Or I like mushrooms as well, but like I don't know if you guys have ever gotten this way with booze before, but I'll just kind of like be drunk and know I'm drunk, and then also be like, this isn't like fun.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I can't, like I'm on the roller coaster, so I'll keep kind of drinking. And like Saturday, I think I was at a tailgate. And by the end of the night, I'd had like fucking 15 or 20 beers.
Oh my god!
And I was just kind of like, like I'm not hammered, but I'm like, I'm definitely drunk. And then the next day, I was like kind of hungover. I'm like, it didn't.
That's so much liquid. That's
I mean, it was over the like 12
day,
hours, though. So it's not like I sat down in an evening and polished off a case.
We got me, him, and Andrew got. Craft beer drunk in Houghton, Michigan.
Yeah, that one.
Dude, Andrew can put him down. Dude.
Andrew's a beer freak.
Yeah, dude. I'm always shocked, like, because I'll be like talking to Andrew at shows. I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, you drinking?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I've had 5. I need to stop." And I'm like,
dude,
bro, it's like 9:30. We gotta go soon. Like,
yeah, Yang's a little beer man.
He's a party animal.
Yeah,
I like because my dad and I we brewed our own IPAs one time together. And I was just asking if people wanted some, and I gave some to Andrew and Eric because I knew they were like beer connoisseurs.
Those gay boys. Dude.
And I asked them, I asked them both. I saw them both, and I was like, "What'd you guys think?" And I started like having some criticisms about like how it turned out, and they were both like, "Johnny, we really like beer."
It was
that's
like
our review.
Cold and free, and keep them coming, baby.
It made my skin hot. That's what matters.
I think before I hang it up, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna like quit drinking forever, but it's like
Don't do that.
No, I'm not.
Don't you leave us?
No, it's I like to I look at it right now as like a guy where I'm like, I can come out of retirement to hang with the boys, because I will say this, like I definitely have grandma and dad's liver where like I will not drink for months, and then have a casual 15, and then like the next day be like, that was kind of.
If you quit drinking, that'll be like when your friend gets a new girlfriend and stops spending time with you.
Well, yes. Well, maybe. I don't know. Dude, do you remember the lovely dinner Zach made for us? I don't.
I remember that
fucking hammered.
I was jealous of you because I had to drive home. I was so upset.
All right, no. So I got a little bit of a booze bag story for you.
Please.
I didn't eat a lot that day because the first dinner they had, I heard there was too much food. This one, they had an appropriate amount for like a Michelin star restaurant. If you don't know, Zach and his girlfriend have been doing this very nice thing where they have some friends over and they will cook like a 7-course Michelin
he invited
star
me
meal.
to one. He was like, "Yeah, we're doing a big dinner thing." I was like, "I'm intent. That sounds wonderful."
You need to go. The next one he does.
Go to the next one. He has he has a real menu that he prints and everything.
Our buddy Sean, shout out Sean Murray, fan of the Chinese Rocket
Sean was very taking his job very seriously.
Sean got me home that night, and he deserves some sort of non-military Medal of Honor because we're like ready to go, and I'm blacking out in Zach's kitchen, like off of 2 bottles of wine, and I don't know how many banquets I put down that night. But so we're driving home, and Sean is like, "Hey, are you good?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're good." And we get maybe 5-10 minutes into the drive. I'm like, "Buddy, I think you're gonna have to pull over." And I start ralphing on the side of the road. Long story short, probably made him pull over like 12 times.
Like, good man.
That's
well,
sick.
but what was great is one of the times he's like playing music and it's drift funk.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, is this all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, it just kind of reminds me of the dystopic nightmare world we actually live in now." And I meant it sincerely. Like, I like drift funk, But he's like, all right, maybe not this. And the next song he puts on, I swear to God, he puts on Dire Straits' Money for Nothing, which is one of my favorite songs.
And you only remembered the F slur.
No, well, no, that
was the only line
for
I
sure
remember.
that came up. But when he put it on, he went, I remember going, ha, because I think subconsciously I knew I was going to spew again.
Yeah.
Like I felt it bubbling up. And as he put on Money for Nothing, I was like, I'm going to wait and I'm going to do it when the guitar hits. And so it's like, it's doing the full build up. And
You
he's like,
choreographed your vomit?
dude, he's drunk. He's driving along. And when I get drunk enough to the point where I'm puking, if I'm still like mobile, I like to have fun with it because I'm like, this sucks, but maybe we can have fun
Make
with
a
it.
good vibe out of it. You know?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not trying to be like, hold my hair. I did the bad. I'm like, no, I did this to myself.
This
So
is
laugh
like
at
this
me.
is like our version of Baby Driver.
Dude, sure. Well, anyways, it's doing the, and it picks up, and I finally go, hey man, can you pull over again? He's like, yep. And he pulls over, and I'm outside, and I think in the blackout I was like, I'm gonna commit to this bit, and I'm just kind of waiting for it, and right as that guitar lick hits, I just start spewing. And Sean said he was laughing quite hard inside the car, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I think I was blacked out, but in on the bit. Like, I'm gonna do this. So
At least you did it outside the car. I threw up in my friend's car one time in high school. Felt so bad.
Would you say high school?
Yeah, high school.
Yeah, this was like 3 weeks ago, so maybe I should cool it. Yeah.
This is my favorite thing about you when you get drunk is like you only talk in historical metaphors.
Yeah, I
like
mean-
there's never like you won't say a straightforward sentence, and it's kind of frustrating to talk to.
I'm sorry.
We were at Tree Town two Tree
All
Towns
right.
ago.
Yeah.
We were all out. We all went to Fleetwood's afterwards, and most of us were pretty hammered. But other people were like trying to like seriously talk about this one thing, and you just start cracking up, and you're like, guys, like you were gonna make a great point. And I was like, yeah, and you're like, this is getting real JFK sister right now. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting next to you, and nobody like recognizes what you're saying, and so you're like nudging me, like he's on my, like he knows, and you're like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, what are you saying? And you start laughing, and then you're just like, oh, it's just like, this is just 1812, you know?
Dude. I mean, it's all Star Spangled Band, baby. I don't know.
You're gonna make a great old drunk too. That means like, dude, I could see like an old person getting drunk saying shit like that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
You're gonna be a good townie.
I
one day.
get
Townie.
fucking. I will say I've been there a couple times where it's door gunner could shoot at anything level drunk. Historical reference for you.
There you
I don't know, that went over my head.
Yeah, well, it's all right. You know, like
I gotta pick up
Vietnam.
books. You know?
No, but like I'll get to the point where I'm like, some of the cell doors are open. I'm like, most of my demons are still silly bitches. Like, I don't get like absolutely hammered and then be like, you know, who's really running the media?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
You keep it light, you know?
That's I every now and again I've been a terror, but like, nah, man. Like as of late, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it does kind of open up to where you're at. I'm like, I'm doing fine.
So if
right
you
now.
were putting your name in the bucket for Kill Tony, are you gonna consciously try to stay sober, or are you just like,
No,
I'm gonna torpedo this interview?
No, I think I would probably.
I'm gonna USS Indianapolis this interview.
Yeah,
Oh, I
there
get
you
that
go.
one.
Yeah,
Fuck
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a goddamn lutely, dude. No, I would probably like. It wouldn't be quite like. I don't know. I was trying to think of another historical reference, but I'm not absolutely fuck-faced hammered right now. So
Yeah.
We can
No.
fix that.
yeah,
Okay.
right. Well, we could. I've got enough liquor here to get it going quick.
Like, we'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah, we'll be back in 20 minutes. No, I think I would probably treat it maybe like a vacation set. Like if I'm on the road, like I was in Boston with my lady, and there was a night where I had a free night and hopped on a couple of shows. And I'm like, I don't know if it's open mics out of town or like guest spots out of town and I'm having a couple beers with comics, I'll do that. So I think if I was doing Kill Tony, I'd probably treat it like that, or like when I was first open mics, I'd have like one or two. But I don't know. I'd also be like, I honestly feel like I would need a couple of beers to sit in that new bullpen amongst everybody
That's
else.
what would give me the most anxiety.
Doing the show wouldn't be what I need a beer buzz for.
Yeah.
It'd be sitting there waiting next to a bunch of people like, this is my moment. I'd be like, God damn it, dude. Fucking settle down.
Yeah,
Like,
I was probably a little anxious. I would sit in like, because the first week we did, because I got on the second time I tried signing up,
Yeah.
and it was like, I'm just like, I don't know. I took it seriously. Like, okay, I signed up. At any moment, in theory, I could be called. Probably not.
Yeah.
So I would just like sit there. It's probably kind of awkward. I would just like kind of sit there and like kind of close my eyes, sitting up against like the wall. I was just like, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm just very anxious. And then like so many people were just like ripping shots and all this stuff. I'm like, bro, but what if
Yeah.
you go up there, dude?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, again, that's like suffice to say, real comic. You've
Yeah.
been in the game long enough that you recognize the gravity of a situation where you're like, all right, it's not quite the Carson show, but it's our
it's
it's
close
our
enough at this
version.
point.
Yeah, it's our version of
There
it.
were like 100. I think when we were watching the stream, there were like 170,000 live viewers or something like
yeah,
that.
that's nuts.
And it's just like no
So
one.
it streams live and then airs later.
So it airs live. It's not filmed live.
Okay.
But like every Monday they have like a live stream and you
Right,
can
right.
watch through and chat and everyone says a bunch of horrific shit in the chat.
Right.
And then it disappears until it comes out
Yeah,
as
yeah.
an episode. So
Gotcha,
you could
gotcha.
could view it live if you wanted to.
Oh
watch
no!
it.
So I'm sorry. I think I'm doing a bad job explaining this. So they film. So like for example, the episode I did, they filmed it. It wasn't airing live, and then in 3 weeks they edit it, and then they live stream the episode, and then the second the live stream's
it.
over, you can just watch it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's live streamed after the fact.
Right.
Okay.
So it goes live, but it's a pre-record.
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
it used to be actually live.
Yeah,
it did.
right.
Yeah.
Back when it was one shot.
Yeah.
They didn't do
Yeah.
close-ups and
Yeah.
cuts and all that.
Shoot. Okay. Here's something that is within the Kill Tony lore. Thoughts on it being rigged?
Oh yeah, so I got a lot of comments being like industry plant, which is weird, because it's like I don't think it is. I think it's just like there's
think-
probably certain things
Do you
that
think there's like forethought put into it? Because like you said, maybe they check people's social media presence before.
So I can't say anything. I don't think it's rigged.
Okay.
I think it's like a lot of it's just weird odds. Because sometimes people will get on multiple weeks in a row,
Yeah.
and it won't be like a good comic. that
No,
gets
I've
on.
seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen
so
that. Yeah.
it's like I think
like live. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, so and so's up here again." I'll be like, "This is a thing."
right,
Yeah,
but it's like Tony's like a huge pro wrestling fan, so I think there is like some essence of orchestration with certain things, but like for example, with me, I felt completely random,
Yeah,
and just shit happens. Yeah, I think like because when you sign up, you do put your social media down,
Okay.
and I think Red Band does look at it if you get called, but I
Okay.
don't think it's like they're like digging through looking for people,
Right.
because I think it's like they don't have to do that, you know, because it's
Right.
like there's 500 or whatever people that sign up every week. Most of those people are going to be at least interesting enough that they can get something out of, whether they're a good or bad comic. And it's just like, you know, they're like, how do they get all these crazy people? Like, statistically, that doesn't make sense. Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
does, dude. Everybody in
Yeah.
there was weird as fuck in the nicest way possible. I can say that. They were like, there's no shortage of characters. And there were people where I was down there where I was like, oh, if this is orchestrated, like this person will be on. Like,
Well,
but they never did.
how about from your read of a room, and I don't know what it is, but like, how many people in there do you think were like working comics or people that wanted to be working comics trying to sign up?
Maybe like 15 to 20%.
Okay, that's more than I thought. Of 500 people.
Yeah. Okay.
All
So
right, that's-
the week I signed up, there was 250. But
Okay.
it's I shouldn't say 500. It's just only growing. I think last week it was like 360 or something.
Okay.
Because in regards to like the people who are fans of Kill Tony or even of like Rogan and like kind of the whole with the Death Squad
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
a lot of them, like we were talking about before, not like stand-up comedy fans originally, right? And like I'll meet people that are like avid listeners of Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
and they didn't even know he was a comic, you know, for the
I
longest time.
can't. That blows my mind.
You can be
Well-
like, because he
well,
talks
it
about
comes
a lot.
up a lot.
It
So, like,
does.
how big a fan of him can you be?
Like I assume maybe they're watching just like clips or they're toning him out, but they're like, or like, you know, I was talking to this guy just the other day. He was just like, yeah, huge Joe Rogan fan. Just saw his new special. Don't think you should try stand up again. As if it was like a thing
First
he
shot.
just pivoted into.
that blows my mind though. That's a shallow fan
Yeah, yeah.
because it's like, dog.
But that may be your average passive listener.
maybe,
Right.
but I mean, like, it comes up every goddamn episode.
Yeah. You know,
Well, it depends on who you listen to, right? Like if he's talking to
Chad Daniels.
Chad Daniels,
Or
you know,
Matthew.
if he's talking to Jordan Peterson
Yeah,
or,
but
or
like
scientists.
it comes up in an Elon Musk episode.
Sure.
Where,
Well, that's
like-
because Elon wants to. be a
Yeah,
comic.
dude,
Sure,
Elon Musk
but
wants
you-
to be a comic
wants to be
so
comic
bad.
book.
I
than
don't
anything.
know. I think
I'd
people,
love to see him try.
people that
Do
are
it, Elon.
saying they don't know Rogan's a comic that are like big fans of him everywhere else. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like you're selectively choosing to be almost contrived at that
Or
point.
they're just pulling a William Montgomery on him just to take him down a peg.
yeah, probably.
Are you a comic?
Yeah, dude.
Are you a comic or are you just a UFC commentator and billionaire podcast host?
Yeah, Jesus, dude.
It's funny. If I ever met Rogan, I'd just kind of want to talk to him about UFC. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
about
but-
stand up. You're like, I talk about stand up enough. Let's talk about punching.
No, my deep cut. I'd talk to him about news radio probably. That'd be my
Damn,
go-to.
dog.
It's a great show. I'd be like, what was Phil Hartman like? It's probably,
Wait, Phil Hartman. That's the. Oh wow.
he was Troy
Troy
McClure on
McClure
The Simpsons.
Right, right.
Pretty big on SNL.
Yeah.
and- yeah, great comedic actor throughout
One of my
most
favorites.
of the 90s.
Yeah. And then Andy Dick killed him.
Andy Dick killed him.
Andy Dick went
Unfortunately.
on a murdering spree.
I watched
for
a
little bit,
documentary
dude.
about
Andy Dick's
Andy
body
Dick,
count is
yeah.
through the roof.
Yeah,
man.
dude. Andy killed some people.
Last time I heard about him, he was doing these like creepy live streams. He was like kidnapped on a live stream.
Oh,
and they're like
Who, Andy
drugging.
Dick?
Yeah, dude.
I don't understand how he's still alive.
Was
Yeah,
it John
it's-
Lovitz that kidnapped him?
I don't, dude,
No, it was this like it was like on Rumble or Twitch or something, and like they would just feed Andy Dick all these drugs, and he would do weird shit on camera, and he'd be
Yeah.
creepy about women. And it was,
dude, Andy Dick is one of those guys who keeps putting himself in situations where he should die, and he walks out.
he's
I'm
had
like,
the
what
shit beat
fuck?
out of him so many times.
He's very like punchable.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
I'd
he's-
love to hit Andy Dick. Just
Yeah,
one
his.
shot.
I don't even have a
essence
personal
is-
problem with him. I would hit him.
I would
Yeah,
love
if you
to.
walked in here right now, like, hey, room for one more, I'd be like, I kind of want to really fuck this guy up, dude.
Like, what's that one episode of Family Guy where they like start a nightclub and then Andy Dick shows up and they're like, oh no, Andy Dick, and then everyone leaves.
Yeah, dude. It's I don't know.
Bar went out of business in like 2 seconds. How'd that happen? Andy Dick happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Andy Dick's like the recession.
Has he ever been around Kill Tony?
I don't think so. I
they
don't.
should have him on.
I think Tony's smart enough to not let Andy Dick on that show. You know,
That's crazy. I mean,
great guest though. I imagine that would be a crazy.
That would be
episode.
awesome.
it is turning into some of the guests they've been having recently. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Did you see Ryan Long kind of bomb as a guest?
No,
That was a good one.
but that blows my mind too because Ryan Long is
He's
like
good. He's
in
pretty
his
good.
own way, kind of like an alt-right adjacent comic.
Yeah, but he's not like
He's not.
explicitly all right.
Yeah,
but
he's not. And
he
I don't
has
even
that.
think like Kill Tony's like alt.
No.
I don't know.
It's just
Well,
like
I don't think
random
he's alt-right,
people.
no.
It's one of those things where it's like it's a show that's incredible, like pro stand up, and a
Yeah.
lot of people that want to do stand up and they really gravitate towards the it's free speech pro comedy. Then
Yeah.
you just get random racist motherfuckers who are like,
Yeah.
okay, actually, thank God.
They had a lady on who stormed the Capitol.
I
yeah,
was gonna say, by the
she
way-
was a sweetheart. I
Hang
met
on.
her.
You met her?
Yeah, dude.
Let's go ahead
She
and
gave
put
me a
this
hug.
out
Sweet.
there, though. That's not just a Kill Tony problem because we've all been to the local open mics.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Where somebody comes out of the woodwork like,
But-
you can fucking say
Dude, I met
whatever.
a guy-
Again, it's the chicken or egg thing, though. Is like the Death Squad, Kill Tony Rogan verse. Is that kind of responsible for why so many people like here are with that mindset are coming into it, or is it the other way around?
I don't know. I remember before COVID, it was still a thing, and
Yeah.
then the COVID Cowboys came out of nowhere.
Oh my God, the COVID Cowboys.
those boys came out like, hey, we're gonna show you how to break some of these Broncos. And then I remember when like crowds started to show up again, like full of everybody and not just COVID Cowboys and
They were territorial about it. I remember going to Mike's post COVID, and there, I'd meet some people that like started like March 15th, and they'd be like, yeah, we've been out here for a while now.
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, so have I, but it's been a while. And
I don't, dude. I don't know the hubris on some of that. Where I'm like, dog, like, I'm not against you. I'm just saying, like, unless the world ends, congratulations, this doesn't matter anymore. But I'm like, no, you're gonna get like the other grindy part of this once stuff opens up again, and it has.
right. And there were good comics that I met that started during the pandemic. That Ronnie fucking started during the pandemic, and I fucking love Ronnie. dude.
Chanel.
Robrook.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, dude.
yeah.
Ronnie's great. Yeah, Ronnie was part of some of that group that did start then. Where I remember not gonna name names just yet, but one of them was like subbing in, hosting an open mic, and like definitely was big time everybody at the open mic.
heard
I'm like,
about
where the
this.
Yeah,
fucking
I
open
heard
mic?
about
And
it
like
on
Trevor,
podcasts.
Elena, and I showed up.
Big time Trevor. I
Yeah,
heard.
and we were all like, who the fuck is this guy? And then, you know, everything worked.
People
itself
mellowed out. A
there.
lot of those people that I kind of initially had issues with, I assumed that they would stop. And then when they kept going, I just saw them enough times. I'm like, you have enough nice conversations with people.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking whatever.
Did
Yeah.
you do any Zoom shows?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
I did a Zoom open mic.
Did you do a Dat Fan Zoom show?
No, it was for it was actually Alex Bradley organized it.
Ah,
And
shout out Alex.
Shout
shout
out
out Alex.
Yeah.
You poor soul. Why did you organize that? and it was we were just trying anything. You're like, let's do a
no.
Zoom open mic. You're like this. No one had fun.
Yeah.
We talked a lot after on Zoom. That was a great time.
Yeah, conversations were great. I like.
I'm
talking
so
about
glad
them.
that's done.
Not if you ask some people.
Well, yeah, fair
we
enough.
got a couple Zoom show warriors around town.
Dude, Dave Crumbly told me because he did a lot of the Zoom shows, and he would meet people that only did Zoom shows, and
Yeah, I
that they
know.
were doing Zoom shows before COVID even happened. They were like, the locals of the Zoom comedy scene, and they're like, yeah, why? Dave would be like, so do you ever do this in front of people? And they're like, oh no, way too
They,
scared.
they
to do
were
that.
they were like the local Austin guys before
Damn,
Rogan came in.
Fucking just
like-
cam girling for comedy. Just like, all right.
Zoom shows just got oversaturated. It used to be a good indie scene.
Yeah, now everyone's putting their politics in it.
God damn, dog.
Yeah, dude. Zoom shows used to be woke.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I think it's people are gonna keep doing it. Everyone's gonna suck. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I always wondered, like, do people actually turn their mics on so they can laugh, or do you?
No one did. Actually,
Oh.
when I did it, everyone had their screens black
Awesome.
when they weren't on. People only turned on their fucking
You were
thing.
just a
dog.
college professor, at that
right,
point.
yeah, dude.
That's crazy, dude. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think I only ever did one. I was like, I'm good on that forever.
It didn't make me feel better about being a comic. I thought I was honestly, ever since the pandemic ended, I was like, before it, I was doing mics as often as possible, and everyone was like, we gotta hustle, we gotta drive to the mics, we gotta fucking drive.
You got to get fast food on the way home.
Yeah, McDonald's, it's part of the
Hey,
process.
dude.
some of us are still doing that, baby.
But no, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like I'm trying not to like put myself in situations where I do shows that make me hate myself.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like it's not that I feel I'm too good to do anything. It's just like I don't think driving like 2 hours to do an open mic anymore. I don't think I'm gonna feel good about
I'm with you.
Yeah.
growing. And it's like there's enough mics like within a vicinity. It's like I'll do a shitty mic, but it's like I'd like for it to be closer now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Because it's
Yeah,
like I want to feel
yeah.
good. And it's like if I did like, because when I was in Austin, there'd be comics that would only do the open mics, and they'd do like 4 open mics a night. And it's like by the end of the night, it's like they're not even having fun doing the open mics, and I think like it could actively make comedy worse for you.
Yeah, I've ebbed and flowed in that before. Where I'm not. I tell you this much, like I don't know if you know this. I know I told you as I was walking in, but I'm moving to Chicago here pretty soon.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Thanks, man. And
Dude, that city needs you, dude. Fucking. A lot of people, when I would go to Chicago, I like the Chicago comedy scene, but a lot of them were kind of scary and mean. And,
Hey, get those trigger warning guys for me.
That's here's the thing. It's always kind of been like that. Even when I first visited years ago as an open micer, it's like very big shoulders, kind of tough guy town.
which I understand, but it's like I'm just trying to say hello.
Yeah, one, I'm a little gray in the beard for real, so I'm like, some of that like youth angst. I'm like, hey, fucking, I don't care. 2, I'm working the road more, so I'm like, okay, but like also, I've got my car. I'll leave town, like, but it's just like I do love that city. That scene's got a ton of mics.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, man, I'm excited to hopefully add to it.
Yeah, I think you'll be super
Thanks,
successful.
man.
We have
That's
friends
it.
out there too, like
Yeah.
That was very kind of you. Like, I think Chicago's doing just fine without me, but I would like to be something that
you're gonna save
someday
it.
helps. Yeah.
You're gonna be the
I'm
Rogan
saving
to their
Chicago.
Austin.
No, it's like
it's just like you're funny, but you're also like a positive, like member of our scene.
yeah.
So it's like a lot of people can be funny, but they're not like,
They're
like
not
I don't want to
adding.
hang out with
Yeah.
them,
Right.
but like. I would say, like, even if you were a fucking terrible comedian, I'd still want to hang out with you all the
I
time.
appreciate
We
that.
were in the green room at the Laugh Factory. We were doing the Friday show that we did there.
Oh, tight.
And the guys, you know, they kind of softly talked to me like, "Oh, you guys new here?" You know, like kind of getting ready to like big time us.
Yeah.
And we're like, "No, we're just visiting from Michigan." They'd be like, "Oh, okay. Like, what's your Instagram?" And they'd soften up because it's like, "Oh, it's not. We don't got it. We don't have to haze these."
I don't know,
guys."
man. It's
You
but
know?
like if they are gonna haze me, I'd be like, dog, I've done stuff. I'm fine.
I can take
like,
it.
Yeah,
The
I'm
shows
like,
I've done there, like, so I did a Sunday show there like last year, and I was super excited. It was like my first paid show there, and I was like, I'm fucking taking the Greyhound, doing some other stuff down there. I'm
Yeah.
having a blast. And then I get there, and like the comics in the green room were just like not happy to be there. And then like we were doing the sets, and people are just a lot of people were eating shit, and like it felt like they were trying, and it's like I don't know, to be jaded about the Laugh Factory. I guess if you live there for a long time, maybe it just becomes another room. But I'm like, to me, I was
It's
like,
not even the open mic. It's like a real
yeah,
show.
and,
there.
and there were like 150 people there, and like I was super excited, so I fucking tried as hard as possible, and I had a really good set. But I was like, come on, bro, fucking give me some something to work with.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
a lot of people weren't trying, and I go out there, I'm like, I'm gonna try as hard as fucking possible.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I think that's the attitude I'm gonna take. Also, it's just like I don't know. I've got that grinder. Boys, we're the boys. No,
boy.
the grind set of like I don't mind doing mics. I like doing mics.
Yeah,
Um,
I just love doing comedy. At the end.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
positive attitude we're talking about.
Well, yeah, but it's like I don't know, man. I'm no stranger to it, and like I've gotten punched in the nuts enough at an open mic where I'm like, hey, it's another drop in the bucket
Also,
here.
like if you're doing mics in Michigan, like and around a place where you live,
Yeah,
it's the place where you get to see the most amount of your friends at
Right,
once too.
right,
So like if
right.
you embrace it socially, it's great because
Yeah.
like I don't know, you're driving out to do a weekend at a club or something. You might know the feature.
Right.
Usually don't know the headliner.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
like it's nice to meet new people, but it's also cool to just be around like 10 of your friends.
yeah.
you know?
That's kind of why I miss a home. I've never really had a home club. I've had Crunchies and Macs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I guess kind of going back to what brought that up is like when you were talking about going to the mics and like not having fun or overdoing it. I'm like, yeah, I'm a little worried about like starting over again in that aspect. But like the few times I've been the stranger in a strange land, it's like one, I know some of the comics out there already.
Right.
And
And because of your experience, you'll do the mics, but like your ability to do comedy will immediately become apparent.
right. Well, I was gonna say the few mics I have done, it's like I hate to say it, it's not even like that I'm doing better or getting better laughs. It's like you can just clearly tell when somebody's done it enough that you're like, all right, even if the room isn't great or whatever, you're just like, nah, this person isn't new to this. Much like, going back to even Kill Tony appearances now, a new bucket pull versus like, a road dog that gets pulled. You're like, yeah, all right.
You can also tell who's king of the open mics too.
Yeah.
Oh
There's-
yeah,
there's
dude.
some of those where you're like, oh, they've been doing it a while, but they've never gotten better.
Yeah,
you know?
never
Dude,
done
there
it,
was
yeah,
this guy we met down there, sweet man. His name's Trey. Nice guy.
Shout out Trey.
Shout out Trey.
Shout out Trey.
Does he have a book?
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He has a wonderful head of hair. He looks like a little Oompa Loompa man. Sweet guy. But anyway, every time we saw him, Mort would always comment, he'd be like, dude, Trey's always holding court. Like Trey was like always like surrounded by like a circle of people, and he's like talking to like a circle of people, and we're like, dude, everywhere we go, Trey's just holding court. Like,
Damn.
Yeah.
Like other comics?
yeah, he's just talking to the towns.
He got the tea? Is it Gossip City or is it just okay? Yeah.
From the perspective of the open micers, they see a guy who's kind of older and been around, and he's at a lot of these. They go, "Oh, this guy knows what he's talking about."
Yeah.
And he
When
did.
it's like the people who really know what they're talking about aren't at all the open mics. They're
Yeah.
busy,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
it's the closest thing they have access to. A lot of those.
Yeah.
Some people, I met people who were like, yeah, my wife works full time and I just do open mics, and it's like,
Fuck, dog.
and then I'll be like, damn, this guy better be good if this guy's wife has that much faith in him. We'll go up, they'll be like, yeah, so I hate black people, and I'll be like, what the
Jesus Christ, dude.
dude, the first open mic,
Wait, what was the punchline?
nothing, dude. Oh my god, the first fucking open mic we
Oh,
went
it's a
to.
one sentence joke, Johnny.
Yeah, you know.
The first
It's
open
a
mic we
one-liner.
went to, it was like, it was a good crowd. There were like, at a big city open mic, there was probably 15 people there.
Okay.
It was sick. And then like one of the first comics' opening joke was like, yeah, so I think I'm racist.
Hell yeah.
And then we're like, okay, what's the punch? And they're like, yeah, it's something about black. I don't even remember. It was just a racist joke.
Yeah.
And then like the only 2 black people in the crowd got up and left, and we were like,
Yeah.
like, bro, I would have liked talking to those guys. You know, like they were having fun
There-
until you fucking walked
There
up.
goes a sizable percentage of the crowd.
Yes.
It's like, awesome. You walked.
There goes an entire demographic.
Yeah, it's
from the
like,
crowd.
damn it, dude. Yeah. I don't know, man. I gotta pee again. Feel free to talk.
Hell yeah, dude. I just
Okay.
farted again. I'm sorry.
Oh, nice. I haven't smelled a single one.
Dude, that makes me so happy,
I feel
man.
like you.
Yeah, multiple, dude.
He's farted multiple times. No, they're
Because I can't smell, so it's like I just
Right.
know. I feel it in my body when it happens.
Yeah, yeah. Have you never been able to smell?
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was like I didn't realize I couldn't for a long time because
Yeah.
it's just one of those senses. Like, so I can smell in the sense that like if you were to like light up a joint and hotbox this whole room, and I
Yeah.
walked in, I could be like, yeah, there's a smell in here, but I couldn't tell what it is. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
like strong to weak instead of good to bad.
Is that because I watched your TED Talk? In fact, I showed your TED Talk to my students.
You messaged me that, and that's so sweet.
Yeah, yeah. Did that come up? Was that listed among the various conditions, or do you not even include that?
No, that's the annoying thing about my body because at a certain point it feels like I'm making shit up. Because it's
You're
like
yes-anding. You're
because I have 7 birth defects,
right.
which are shit. So it's my limbs, my hands. I have a partially tethered spinal cord. I have a renal kidney. I think that's what it's called. I have a thin esophagus. I have a heart murmur. And
Asshole.
asshole. Yes, there.
That's
of
what we
course.
have in
That's,
common.
yes, that's the main one.
Yeah, I remember I got so mad when I saw you do a bit about that. We were at Salsa Parlor, and you had a great joke about being born without an asshole, and I was like, "Dog, he doesn't get to have that too." I was like,
Since the Kill Tony
I
thing
had
came
that
out, I've
one.
gotten so many messages from people being like, "I didn't think anybody knew about that condition," and I'm like,
I
yeah,
was
then-
told it's like 1 of 10 people.
Yeah, it's not that rare. The
Yeah.
only rare thing about my condition is that it's all together.
sure.
So it's
Yeah.
like on top of those 7 birth defects, I'm colorblind, I can't smell, and I have visual snow.
Oof.
So
Wait, what visual? What was that?
so visual snow is this weird eye condition where it's like I see static on the walls a lot.
Huh.
So it's like it's not degenerative. Some people have it so bad that like they can't go outside because it's like the worst case scenario for visual snow is it's like TV static on everything.
Oh,
And
my
it's like
God.
super overstimulating. And when growing up, I just like it took a long time to figure out that that's what was happening because I wear glasses and it's almost like it's different. It's like so in your eye, if I'm explaining this right, you have like 3 like color receptors. And if one of them's fucked up, you have like normal color blindness. If you have
Okay.
2 fucked up, it's like super color blindness.
Okay.
And I think the issue with my eye is it's like a thing like behind the receptors. I don't know. There's not a lot of research on it, but the point is I see static on the walls, especially like white walls.
You got fucked up cones? Oh, I'm sorry, man.
No,
I
it's
should've
not.
try to break
It's
these
one of those
walls
things
up.
where it's like, when you think about breathing and then you have to like manually breathe for a while.
Yeah.
So it's like that. Normally I don't really think about it, but it's like the more I learned about it and I like would Google stuff about the visual snow, the more it did kind of start to fuck with me. Where I'm like, yeah, there really is TV static on everything or like my hands or you guys, your faces. And
Yeah.
it's just weird. But thank God it's a very minor version of that.
God damn.
So
All right.
I have something to pitch to you, and that's like there's a lot of theme shows. There's a lot of like all women shows, LGBTQ shows. I say you and I start a monthly Born Without an Asshole show, and comics have to prove.
Yeah,
They
I
have
got to see
to-
pics.
Yeah, we got to see the tools your dad used to exercise your sphincter
I
muscles.
don't know. You guys might be getting pretty close to the Deja Vu's prettiest butthole in Michigan.
Actually,
show.
Johnny, question: Have you ever
Yeah.
seen your own butthole? Ever taken a picture of it?
Oh,
No.
let me tell you, I've seen his, and it's immaculate.
It's been
It's
it's
immaculate.
been reported back to me. I've
Yeah.
heard secondhand.
No,
talk.
because like so this is such a
You've
gross
seen
story.
yours?
When me and Maria first started dating, I have a lot of body dysmorphia. I hate my body a lot, and like I have a lot of weird trauma about it. It's like when me and Maria started dating, I wanted to like look smacks as much as possible. I was
Damn,
like,
dog.
this girl likes me a lot. I should be the most beautiful version of myself I could try to be. So I thought it would be smart to like shave my asshole.
Nice.
And
It's actually a pro move.
right, and so to do that, I just had to set like my phone on the ground
Uh-huh.
and squat over it and shave. And
And all your asshole hair just
Yikes,
fell on
dog.
the phone.
well, yeah, you know,
yeah,
just
you
so I could
better
get a
wipe
look at
that phone down after.
Well, that was the first time I ever looked at my own asshole, and it wasn't as circular as I was expecting.
Right.
And anyway, I told Marie about
I
that.
don't want to, take away from you guys butthole things here,
Yeah.
but not many, even nature-made poo holes or something to write home about.
But
Right.
I would expect, since ours are industrial, they
Yeah.
would be the best ones.
well,
Well,
they were created by a creator's creator. So-
right.
Now, question: do you have? So in my joke about it, I talk about. I don't know if it was like the way they operate on it, but like I have a weird issue with the muscles in my pelvis where like I have to sit when I pee.
Oh, I thought you had that weird issue where you can't stop thrusting.
Yeah.
Boy. Yo, you out here just
Once you
fucking-
start, you can't stop.
Yeah, dude.
brother.
If I know anything about Jacob Barr, is he's got this weird issue when his hips start, they do not stop until he's done.
Right, but no, I just have to sit when I pee because like it's the same muscle. No, it's
The
fine.
juxtaposition of you just fucking like mad to be like, man, I
No,
got
no,
Anyway, here's a plague I live with.
yeah.
My life is misery, and no, I hate my body. I would trade it in an instant for yours.
I
don't know if you're headed there with the question, but I do stand when I pee.
Yeah.
I don't have.
That's weird because
So I'm not quite sure what the difference was in our butthole problems, but
dog.
like I literally can't push out my cock without pushing out my butt.
interesting.
I can't push them separate.
Well, I mean, are you
so
gonna poop
kind
or
of
does
shit
that
and
just?
piss like a bird?
Are you gonna?
Is that how that works?
No,
Will it
it's
really
all one
make you
hole.
poop,
all
or
one
does
hole.
it just make you susceptible to hemorrhoids? You know,
I have had hemorrhoids. Yeah.
sure, yeah. I definitely have.
Dog, I do remember.
I haven't been diagnosed, but I definitely have.
Oh,
It's sad.
I give you an ocular pat down. I go, that boy loves to party. He might have some asshole problems.
I've had some fiberless areas in my life where I just strained for a while.
I used to starve
gambling.
myself because I'd be like, I had like it was like borderline anorexia where like when I was a teenager, like I wouldn't eat before I
Jesus,
did things because I was too afraid of having stomach issues because it's like because of my muscles and stuff. It's hard for me to.
And the Crohn's as well, right?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got
yeah.
Crohn's.
So it's like it's
yeah.
hard to control. Okay, so let me explain.
Might be easier to list what you don't have.
Right. So okay.
That mine seems sharp.
So by definition, I don't have Crohn's. It's just
Oh.
easier to explain than I have IBS and a
Right.
perforated bowel. So it's just easier to just say Crohn's.
Yeah.
But it's like I just wouldn't eat before things, and turns out that is not good for you. And I
No.
would just like it was making my health worse. Like even through college, like I would go to like concerts. Like God, I went to Warped Tour one year and I almost passed out because I didn't eat or like have anything
dog.
the whole day because I didn't want shit and then ruin everything. So
I mean,
just didn't-
that is a bummer. I will say this because first of all, dog, you're beautiful. You're handsome.
that's sweet.
You're a handsome man. And I will say this. I remember when we were still like open micing pretty hard we'd be at the showcase a lot. I remember some dumb bastard, like we're watching, and this was in your bad boy era where you'd come up and you'd be like, "Sup, fuckers?"
Yeah.
Like you were
Classic.
doing that.
Yeah,
and
dude,
like,
I feel like I'm on one at the showcase sometimes. I'm like, I'll just fucking shit on these
Yeah.
things.
Well, that's your home.
It was
That's your-
well, dog. It was like you were like really in a good vibe, crushing. And I remember you were doing some new stuff about the hands, and like it was murdering. Like you had a murderous set at an open mic, you know, and one of the ones where it was like really well sold. And I remember standing next to some fucking open mic piece of shit, and he like nudged me. And was like, man, fucking this guy, of course he's getting all these laughs tonight. And I remember thinking, and you've said it a couple of times before, where I was like, dog, like he would in an instant snap his fingers to change with most of us. Like he's
I
not
hate
in,
this.
I'm like, he's not at an advantage up there with all this. He's just making it funny. And I just remember like it came up later. I don't know if I saw you say it to him or somebody else where like somebody was talking about your advantage as a comic because of all the stuff you can talk about and live with. And I do remember you being like, oh, I would snap fingers and change with you in a heartbeat, dumbass. Like,
Yeah.
and I hope, dude, I hope you're actually getting to a point in your life, and I don't know if it'll, but like where you don't want to do that. Like you seem to accept and thrive in a lot of ways.
Well,
but
that's
I- you
that's
know.
very sweet, and And yeah, I would love to not feel like that. And let me counter to that. I do have a huge advantage. I have more. Look,
Well, no,
Hang
you
on.
could be- okay, all right,
In the
but
context of stand-up.
I've met plenty.
Yeah.
I've met plenty
Or
of
maybe
guys.
life. I'm sorry, but
it
like,
depends. It's
I've
very
met-
situational.
I've met plenty of guys in my life born with a lot of problems who are also not funny at all.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Who for the life of them can't make it.
I think
I
it
guess
just-
I just hate. I hate it when anybody uses, like, they use an excuse for somebody being funny about anything. I hate it when they're like, "Oh, they're just funny because of this." I'm like, "No, they're funny, and they found a way to make this funny."
Everybody
yeah.
talks about their life.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
talks about
I don't know. Fuck that guy is what I'm
Yeah,
getting
fuck
at.
that guy.
Fuck that guy is
but
all I got.
he does have a point in the sense that, like, I do have an advantage in stand-up in the sense that, like, more people will look at me. More people, if the room is uninterested.
Oh, we're gonna hit you up for this thumbnail pretty good.
But it's like if the room is uninterested in me doing stand up at the time, and then I go up there, they'll at least usually look at me.
Right.
And it gives, and yeah, I do have to be a good comic to follow through with that, and I'm proud of that. But I do have the advantage. Like, hell, on Kill Tony, like, I fucking went out there because of how I looked, shit, stars aligned. But yeah, I don't know. I would ultimately.
That
you know,
was cosmically awesome.
yeah, it felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching it getting really emotional. Like, I couldn't believe that everything lined up like that, and I'm so thankful for that. But yeah, I would change my body in a heartbeat just because it's like, I don't know. It makes me paranoid because of the way I look. For example, I got a house in Milan. I mow my lawn like a fucking normal person does. But bro, I don't know if it's me being paranoid, but like, man, people like drive by real slow when I do it. And it's just like I end up hyper fixating on the way I'm perceived. And that's the main reason I would trade. I wouldn't trade my body necessarily because of like functionality. Like, I can do everything fine. It's just like, it's so weird to be perceived in such a specific way.
to know that everybody's noticing you.
Yeah, and it's like, when I mow my lawn, I look like shit. I'm fucking shoving the mower. I have to like hunch over it and push it. I look fucking weird. I would stare at me too. And because of that, I know when people do it. And they do it a lot. And it is weird. But now it's like, I'm thankful for the way my body is because, yeah, it has helped me. And it's like, I don't know, I guess it's like, helped me be a nice person, I guess.
Right.
But like, I don't know, I just hate my body. Ultimately, that's what it is. I don't think that'll ever change. I feel bad because it's like,
You make me feel bad about hating my body. I'm like, I guess I'm doing all right.
but I
Like,
also recognize that there's nothing intrinsically wrong with my body. It's like I have a fiance who loves me and tells me nice things about my body every day, and it breaks my heart.
well,
when
it
she'll-
helps that you got a fucking hog on you. dog.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
well, let me clarify this.
The Lord
I-
never gives with both hands. And let me tell you, your ailments.
But
I'm
I
like,
even
he's got
feel
a
weird about
fucking-
that. I even feel weird about that because I do have a big penis, but I don't have like a fucking like.
Nah, dude, it's got to be a fucking weasel.
It's
Don't tell me you're self-conscious about your penis.
Yeah,
No, well,
I
body
imagine the
dysmorphia.
hunch you have is because you're dragging cock. all
Have you
day.
thought about mowing your lawn with your penis out?
You can't wear shorts, right?
For the record, I'm a grower.
Oh, get the fuck. Yeah,
Wait, really?
I mean, it looks nice.
Our
soft.
assholes and penises are both the same.
That's wild, dog.
Hear me out. I have a nice cock, but the thing was,
That's the sound bite.
but the thing is, people take that and they inflate it.
They make it big.
And that gives me more body dysmorphia, right? So, like, when I was growing up,
when your enormous penis grows, it makes the
don't
rest
say
of you
that.
look
I have a
smaller.
big penis, not an enormous penis. Let me fucking.
Dude, if you have a big penis, it's enormous to almost everybody.
Okay. Well, so hear me out. So when I was younger, I went through puberty really young.
Cock first.
Yeah, cock happened pretty quick,
All right.
and I also used to go commando a lot when I was younger.
Fuck yeah,
and
dude.
so I would just hang all the way.
Yep.
And so like people reacted to
Fucking
it.
7-year-old hanging dong.
Well, it was more middle school, but in middle school people had a really weird reaction to it. Like people would talk about it a lot. And over the years, it inflated this rumor. And I remember I was like,
Oh, that's a Captain Spears killing Germans rumor where you're like, I'm not going to tell anybody,
dude,
no.
So it was like, I
History
remember I
rep-
was a junior in high school. And then somebody came up
Called
to me
you
and they were like,
Big
hey,
Cock
Jacob,
Jacob?
I hear you have like a 16-inch penis. And I was like, Like let me live up to something, because I was like I thought I loved my dick, and then like people would say shit, be like, yeah, bro, Jacob's got like the biggest fucking dick. I'm like but like I hate my body. So it's like it would fuck it up. And then since I'm a grower, you know, so it grows and shrinks, and, you know, depending on the weather.
Right. That is how most
That's the
businesses
plan.
work, yeah.
So it fucked my dude. It gave me such body dysmorphia where it's like, am I not seeing what people are seeing? What is going? Like, it freaked me out, and it just like, I don't know, it just like added to the pile of like, just like really bad body dysmorphia.
Damn.
Where like I don't know, I just like hated my body, even though I had something people told me was good about it.
I do believe a good portion of the U.S. male population would trade a lot of it in if they got your weed.
Did you ever?
I'm sorry, but that's how much people love. That's how much straight dudes love their
They
penis.
do love
They would be like, "Yeah, man, give me all that."
It's Maria is your fiance.
Yes.
Right? Did it take
So sorry.
to relate, like, due to being a grower? Did you like wait? Was it a while before you were like okay with her seeing you flaccid? Was that?
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. Like, to spare you the details, right before Maria and I went, I had like a really bad first relationship.
Sure.
Where like
man,
I was a
man.
late. That was the other thing where I was like, I think I have a nice dick, but like no lady has seen it. You know, it's just bros saying
Just the
it.
bros.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, you know, in the locker room's not everyone's got some weird looking dicks, so it was like, you know, so no one had seen it, so I had such weird body dysmorphia. And then the first girl I was with, she was really a lot, and like she did a lot of really fucking weird stuff to me that I don't need to get into, but that fucked me up. So yeah, then when me and Maria started,
She come at your peen?
no, not my
Okay.
peen, but she like she's just like a very like toxic, manipulative person.
Okay.
And you know, a lot of weird.
Came at your psyche then.
Yeah, well, she
Yeah.
would like. I remember like the one thing I'll say is like she was like bipolar, so like she would tell me nice things about my body
Yeah.
and then say mean things to me after. So she like I remember like one time we like hooked up and she like told me she loved me, and then like an hour later was like, man, you're gonna make a girl real happy someday.
Oh,
And I was like, what is going on? So whenever she would say anything nice about my sexual performance, I just didn't believe it.
Yeah.
And so that's why when Marie and I first started dating, it was like I had a lot of weird trauma about it, and like it was just like I just hated my body. So it's like, and it shows. And when you're fucking someone, you can't hide any of that. So like,
Nah, you gotta be in it.
yeah. So like she could tell like for the first while we were together that like I had a lot of weird body trauma, but she was so. Hell, I'll even say this: one of the first times we tried to have sex, I could not get hard because I was just super anxious.
Oh.
And I was
Welcome
so
to the club.
Hey, but I was so freaked
Soft
out.
peen club.
But dude, when that happened, it broke my heart because I just was like, I felt so broken that my body didn't work right. And she said like so many sweet things, just like you're not a machine. Bodies don't have to work the way you want them to at this moment. And then her saying that those kinds of things, then it was never really a problem again because it was just like I had someone I finally trusted, and like when she would tell me things, I would almost believe them, like
Yeah.
which now I do in a sense, but like at the time, the fact that I almost believed them was a big step, and I didn't have those problems. And then after a while, I was like, yeah, I got a nice cock. This is pretty cool,
Thank God. Oh my God.
Oh,
I was
all the way
getting
back
worried,
around.
dog.
Yeah.
Like I love you so much. Do not want to see your peen, but
Hey, bro,
I'm glad.
honestly,
Patreon.
You gotta learn.
Patreon.
You gotta learn how to use it, bro. Here's the thing. This is TMI. I got short arms, right? And I have a long cock, so it's like
Yeah,
you gotta be careful with it.
you're fucking in 0G.
You gotta be
sometimes.
careful. You can.
you gotta.
There is an end to the
No
vagina.
safety net.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can fuck some stuff up down there by accident. So I gotta.
Oh, yeah, I bet you can.
You gotta
My God.
slip. If you slip, it's like, oh, my arm's tired, and you just fall all the way. And
No,
sorry, that's way too much detail.
no I appreciate a good fuck talk,
Yeah, yeah.
and again, I'll gas you up. Good looking fella.
Yeah, you are a good
Because
looking
here's,
fella.
I'll tell you something that the ladies have told me. It's the face is. You got a handsome fella. You got a good face on you.
Good
and that's-
jawline.
Yeah, man.
chin.
Like,
Yeah,
Well, hey,
dimples.
coming from two handsome men, that's very sweet.
I let myself go. I
This
gotta
is
get
the
it back
handsome
again.
boys.
Hey, thank you. it's perspective.
Right.
Well, I've decided because a couple people have told me that they call this the Handsome Boys podcast.
Really?
Yeah, out of all of the comedy podcasts in Michigan.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's canon that we only allow other handsome boys on.
Yeah, you guys have the Handsome Boys podcast. Carl has the Handsome Boy podcast.
Well, we had to blur our last two guests out because they weren't handsome enough. So.
Oh yeah, that must have been the Andrew Yang episode.
No, dude,
he's
we
hot
had
as
to
hell.
blur ourselves out for that one.
Yeah, dude, oh my
the
God.
unaging immortal that is
Next to
hotness.
this eternally youthful jacked
Yeah,
Asian guy.
a 6'2" Taiwanese.
Taiwanese, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, good God, dude. He's got big dick energy, tall Asian guy energy,
Yeah.
and scallywag drunk party
Yeah,
animal.
it's-
He's
got
a
some
complete
really
unit.
good stats. You know?
Yeah. I'm like, God damn, put him in, coach.
Right.
Put him in.
I'll trade a couple inches for like.
Also,
Fucking-
Let's see the peen, Andrew.
Let's
I
see
don't
the
know.
peen.
The picture.
yeah, Andrew, send us peen pics.
After
we'll
a year,
put
we
him
all
in.
got to do cock check calendars. You know, just
Dude, there was that time at the salsa parlor where we were sponsored by
Green Lumber.
Green Lumber.
I took one of those.
Did you? Yes.
Yeah?
Those
crazy.
They
Right.
are wild. I got Blue Chew now, which we were doing an experiment between Green Lumber and Blue Chew. It does matter. But there was a hilarious point in the parlor where we were all doing like, peen checks, and we got a literal dude. I got a ruler for everybody to put a dot on the ruler where their peen was
sick.
at, and we all measured on our own, and then just like we didn't touch our weens to the ruler, but there was a salsa parlor auxiliary bro that were like, yeah, man, we're all like measuring and putting a Sharpie dot where our weens at. And he actually used the ruler thinking we all put our wangs on there as well. And then handed it back. He was like, dog, your penis touched this? And he's like, yeah, I thought everybody was doing that way. I'm like, no, dude.
Hey, I don't mean to call anyone out from the salsa parlor, but I heard James Couture was
Packing
was
some
packing
Oh,
some
dude.
Yeah.
He's the only guy I know, because you guys both talked about being growers. I'm like, I think every guy's a grower. James Couture is a fucking shower into a grower. That guy has got Thor's hammer. It's out of this world. It makes, if you
That's
know,
why he wears those shirts.
dude,
That's why-
if you know Jim and his attitude and his like, he's always ready to go. I'm like, yeah, because he's hanging fucking dong, dude.
That's the weird thing. I read a study that like some people's flaccid penises will grow like 8 times the size of like up to that.
yeah, it's out of
fucking
control.
nuts.
Yeah.
But it's like weird that day. Like that's the thing women don't understand about the weather and your penis.
Listen up, ladies.
My
Yeah,
flaccid-
we have a huge female listener.
Dude,
base.
my flaccid penis I think has like 12 different looks depending. You know,
Yeah,
it's
no,
like,
yeah, mine too.
yeah. It's like, oh, am I out of the shower? How tight are my undies today?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No, there really is like am I gonna let my girlfriend see it today?
Yeah.
Or am I gonna shuffle out of the room like this?
Yeah,
Like,
just don't look at
like
me.
am I gonna
me.
Austin Powers my way out of here?
Yeah.
Just
Damn, dude. I think the triple hot boys episode. I can't believe who and everybody here. Good peen day.
Yeah, dude.
All
I'm
right.
feeling good today.
so far so
Yeah.
good.
I worked out this morning, you know,
Hell
and
yeah.
I was working out in shorts.
Dog.
So no undies in the shorts, you know.
Are you
By the end, I was-
commando workouts?
Oh yeah, dude. I'll just kickbox in my basement.
I can't. Okay, I still work out at a gym that
Oh
has
yeah,
other
no, I
people.
don't do that. That's
If
fun.
I did that, it'd be insanity hour,
Yeah.
just flopping around the gym.
I work
like,
out in an athletic club. People there pay way too much
Dog.
money to see my dong.
There's a few.
I can pull it
fellas-
out of Powerhouse, maybe.
Yeah,
but not-
maybe a Powerhouse. There's a few psycho fellas at Powerhouse that will wear like yoga pants, no shorts, or like bicycle pants.
I hate that.
And it's just smashed cock and balls. And dude, it looks
Yeah.
like when a bird hits a windshield that's just all fucked up and contorted.
Dude, I've had to throw out pairs of underwear where I'm like, I'll put it on. I'll be like, I feel like I'm damaging my penis if
Yeah,
I wear
no,
these.
dog,
Like I gotta, I. This is so embarrassing. This isn't too embarrassing. You know, you gotta look max your penis, right?
Absolutely.
So I fucking shave it, right? And dude, but then I was scared that it was gonna shrink. I was like, I should be proactive in making sure it doesn't shrink.
Yeah.
So I was Googling all the shit. I didn't actually do any
You
of
big on jelking? You
I
tell us
learned
you
what it
gel?
was. I learned
Hell
what it
yeah,
was,
dude.
and I was like, maybe it would be smart if I start jelking in advance. I'm like, okay, I like my cock now. I don't want to start hating it. Like
Yeah,
if I start, it's game over, dude. If the cock goes, I don't have a lot to hold on to here. So I was like,
but you do.
so I tried jelking. and I was like, this is not. This is dangerous.
Well, Jelkin, I think
this
has
episode
to
should be
always
called Jelkin with Jacob.
Jelkin with Jacob.
I think
Don't call that.
Jelking ultimately. I think it's psychotic because it has to end with jacking off.
Yeah. Oh, it
Because
did.
there's
Yeah.
bros that are like they just jelk, like the internet trolls. They're not trolls. They're like, yeah, I just jelk and then I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, if I were to stroke on my ween that much, he would wake up and be like, we
Yeah.
doing this?
Yeah,
Like,
we
what are
partying.
doing?
We partying.
You know what I used
Yeah.
to do when I was really young and I was like going to a party, if I was some situation where I might have like a chance with a girl, I would take some Altoid dust and lather up just so like it would so
What?
it'd be minty.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Wait, what? Are you fucking with me?
No.
You would
that?
take
I was like 16.
powdered
yeah.
Altoid dust.
Yeah.
You'd menthol your cock.
No,
Yeah,
so
dude,
you already
A
have
girl would be like, "Does your cock have dandruff?"
Yeah, wait, what?
No,
dog?
it wasn't like it wasn't clearly there anymore.
But did you?
rub it in?
You had to have felt it. If I,
that
if I
it
had
was
a
extremely
I got
uncomfortable.
peppermint nuts, dude.
I didn't like it at all.
yeah, dude, you were fucking.
But I did it. I did it for the game.
You would just icy hot your dick and balls.
Yeah.
Being like, this will be good.
Yeah. yeah.
You also, if a lady likes you enough to go down on you, and then they're like, but the flavor is a no.
Because I want there to be a second time.
Dude, I can't
don't
imagine a
wanna-
girl blowing you and then being like, wow, it was minty. That's why I want to suck them off.
Not because I like Johnny
Yeah.
Mockney. My breath stinks.
I don't. We would have to poll our enormous female audience to be like, if the flavor of a man's penis was all right, is it enough to get you to go
Well,
back for another?
It's the difference between no. Actually, I want to push back on this.
Yeah,
Because
all the way,
It's no
please.
different than chewing gum to keep your mouth minty. If a girl kisses you and you have bad breath, she might not want to kiss you again. You know, she might want to stop.
I actually
early,
no
right?
pushback from me. You're right. It's exactly like that.
All right, yeah. Then
Yeah.
sit the fuck down, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm all the way down.
Back off.
But then again, we
having a
don't know how
minty-
he's.
Get off my minty cock right now.
Having
dude.
a minty penis is exactly like chewing doctor recommended orbits.
I
for
know how we
kissing
can
ladies.
settle this. I know how we can settle this. I gotta taste your cock.
Yeah, dude. I think there's only
I
one
didn't
way.
prep for the
Yeah,
pod.
I tell you what,
Dude,
I
my
got
cock
some-
is sweaty as hell right now. These jeans, dude.
I
wearing
got Altoids
jeans.
in a loose bag over there because I needed the tin for my heroin. So that's out of control, dude.
This is some positive cock talk.
Yeah,
right
oh,
now.
that or
was good.
yeah, but I mean, if your cock was all minty and on fire, and you're just crotch, because would you itch?
No, I'd withhold.
Oh, so you just stand there
Yeah.
in pain.
I mean,
being
if
like,
I had a second, if I was going to the bathroom.
all right,
I'd,
you know what? I'm
I'd
gonna
sit down.
I'm gonna put this all on the table. Did it ever work? Did you ever get sucked off while you were minted
And
up?
then got a compliment.
yeah, all
No,
of it.
I never heard any verbal like.
But you did.
A
you
girl
did
did
get-
suck your penis when it was
you were minted
pepperminted.
up. Yeah.
I think once, yeah. Once out of like 37 attempts.
Oh my god, dude! What?
37
That's
attempts.
fucking insane, dog.
I was a kid, man.
Why do you remember the number?
Wait, how old?
I was like 24. No,
I was like last week.
I was like 16. You know.
All right,
Yeah.
that's all right. 37 times.
I'm. You know. It's,
I'm
paraphrasing.
It's kind of an exaggeration.
All right, but damn, dog.
hyperbole.
And then did post mouth coital.
Yeah.
Was she like, wow,
Yeah, she was like, she would stop halfway and go, yeah.
yeah, this is for me.
I
Yeah.
don't want to taste any flavor during sex. Like some girls like the flavored lube and stuff.
Oh no.
And I'm just like, I don't want to. Like one time, my fiance was like, "Oh yeah, would it be hot if like we had like flavored lube when you eat me?" I'm like, "Fuck no!
No,
Oh, I want to taste
no.
nothing down there, dude."
Yeah,
or
yeah.
or I'm a bit of a dog. I'm like, let me taste what nature's got brewed.
Yeah,
down
honestly,
there.
I
Yeah.
don't. I'm kind of gross with that guy. I'm just like, I don't care.
think
Like,
that's gross to
Yeah.
be down with
Yeah.
nature's flavor.
It's a little armpity. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's, that's how it
that
goes.
doesn't scare me. I tell you, that's tier 1 old man shit. Where I'm like, that stink don't scare me.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
no,
I can't smell, dude. I've never. Like,
Yeah, dude, you're built for downstairs combat.
I-
Then
Oh,
you can get
damn.
in there.
I probably.
You're a king downstairs and upstairs. Dude, that
Yeah,
sucks.
dude. That's out of control, dude. So you got peen game on point and a snoot that's just built for just cave trolling.
could just be down there, dude.
Dog, you could go down there during a fucking homicide.
Yeah, dude. I'm pulling.
Yo, there could be.
I'm splunking down there, and I'm
Dude.
coming back with rubies.
I do not mean to talk about your sweet gal like this, so I will not talk about her like this. But say some post day mystery lady was just skid marks and period, and you're in there like a champ.
I've had my fair share of period sex, not
Damn.
bothered by it.
no,
Yeah, no.
period sex.
You
is-
have to.
Yeah, it's
No, it's like grow up, dude.
whatever
Yeah.
nerd wrote
do
that
it.
in the Bible. That was like, no, you cannot have sex when they're unclean. I'm like, you're a fucking pussy.
I went
dude.
on a couple dates with a girl who she said that she was on her period to see if it would deter me, and
Yeah.
it was a test. She actually wasn't.
Oh,
Like it was a test to see if I was still okay with it.
Yeah.
now to think that even monumental amounts of menstrual blood would scare a man away. I'm like,
Yeah.
Dude,
Come on.
especially when I was fucking 20. I'd
Yeah,
be like,
yeah.
blood, dude. I'll
Get outta
add
yeah,
blood. I don't
yeah.
care.
I was like,
Times are tough right now.
yeah, I could use some. Let's
yeah,
go.
honestly.
Like,
I
yeah.
want to know I'm doing some damage. You know, it's like,
Yeah, yeah. Damn, dog. Yeah,
that's disgusting.
What do you? You tell a starving man that the food's not seasoned?
yeah.
Give a fuck, dude.
Dude, I've been getting into shipwreck tales, and like these dudes be eating their bros when, like, men will eat each other and break their bones to suck the marrow.
Yeah.
When they're hungry enough, I'm like, yeah, when they're horny enough, they gonna get that blood.
Yeah, we got the butt stick.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm not. Look, as someone, I think it's one of those things where it's like, because I think my body is so gross that, like, I am not grossed out by other people's bodies, like, at all.
You got a high tolerance?
Yeah, I just, like, I don't, like, I mean, it helps that my fiance is beautiful and I love her body, but, like, even if she was gross, I'd be like, I'm gross. Like,
Yeah.
who am I to judge?
I've said that to guys who like were having trouble getting laid or something. I'd just be like, just have lower standards. You'll be fine. Like somebody will somebody will
Yeah.
agree. You just gotta like be open to it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I used to do that joke for a while, but that was the main reason I got in shape when I was younger.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm not good looking enough to have sex with the people I would like to have sex with, so maybe I should get in shape.
Yeah.
And then like it's shitty to say, but I'm like, yeah, some people out there are just shallow. And when I got in better shape, they were like, oh yeah, all right.
What we're saying is get in better shape, not for your own health
No.
or to have a stronger, more able body. You should do it to have sex with more people.
Yeah,
the
well,
approval
that's
of
what we're
others is more important than loving yourself.
And that approval must come in sex. If somebody says you have a good body, say prove it.
yeah, fuck me
Fuck
right
me-
now,
fuck me
dude.
right here.
I mean,
now.
and we know what we're talking about. We're stand-up comedians.
Dude, I remember like when I was first like a late bloomer, and just like people would give you like a nice compliment after sex or something. And you're just like, for real?
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't
Yeah.
think that. All right.
Yeah, that one as a young man fielding those questions and or compliments when you're like, "Fucking, why would you say that?" And
Yeah.
they're like, "What? No, I mean it." And you're like, "Oh, okay."
I'd bring it up the next time with somebody else, just like, the last person told me this. What'd you think about that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I immediately like someone's like, "Man, that sex was so good." Well, is it the best you've ever had? It has to be, and if it's not, I'm gonna kill myself in front of you.
I will say the line that always makes me laugh in like movies or like TV shows as a joke is like, was he bigger? I'm like, that makes me laugh so fucking
Yeah.
hard, dude.
I think if you're asking that, you're already losing in a
Yeah,
sense
for
where it's
sure.
like you gotta love yourself, buddy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I made a fatal mistake like that in a conversation.
Oh no.
With
Oh,
my
God.
girlfriend one time.
oh no,
Oh, dude, you never want to ask your lady if
Oh.
the biggest they've ever
Oh,
encountered.
it's probably the most upset I've ever been in my
It's a
life.
bummer. Yeah.
Do you want? Okay, I'll tell.
You
so-
can
do
tell
it, yeah.
because I'll follow up. I
it
got
was
a
very
couple of
early
those, yeah.
on. It was very early on, and oh God, I'm sorry if my mom's listening to this, but
we're deep in
We're
it.
deep.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Hours.
Not as
No
deep
way.
as your ex or your
Yeah,
current
it got
girlfriend.
destroyed.
she had a
Former, yeah.
she had like a dildo like most girls own, and condoms to put on the dildo so it would go in smoother. And there are they were like Magnum
Probably
condoms,
also
right?
easier to clean up, man.
Yeah, and like apparently like the original story was like, oh, the reason the Magnum condoms were here to begin with was it was like the last man I was with, like he demanded these, and so they were here. And I was like, okay, well, can we throw these away? Because I don't want the remnants of the last fella to still be like
Very
in your home.
fair.
Yeah.
That was fine, whatever. But then like I look at the dildo and it's like comically big, and I'm laughing, and I'm like. I mean, like, you've never had one this big in you before, right?
Oh.
Right?
Damn,
Right?
dog.
There was like way too much silence, and I was like, there's
You were holding a replica of his wiener.
But the fact that I was like
Actually,
saying
funny
it
you
like
say that.
I said it as a joke, like obviously the answer is no. That's why this is funny. And
Oh,
then
no.
it like then became a whole issue.
Like a clone of Willie, but it was his dong.
No, it wasn't literally his
Oh,
dong.
okay, all right.
No, that would have been
No, that
that would have been breakup worthy. You're keeping a
Wait,
clone
this
of
isn't your sweet gal now.
That's not
I was
good.
like, is this your sweet gal now?
Let's
I was
not
like,
get
I'll
into
never
it.
look at her the same way.
I have a version of that story that was a more positive experience, unfortunately. So when we started dating, she had like a box of shit,
Okay.
and I was like looking through it, and she had a dildo in there, and she's like, she's like, I hope you're not weirded out by this, but it was one of those Clone Willy things. We were throwing it out, but I was very happy to pick it up and be like,
Got him beat, baby.
I can eat this thing, bro. And she was like, yeah, he got it made, because they lived apart or whatever, and he got it, and I was like,
Nice.
I was very happy about it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that's hilarious that you picked up a smaller man's penis.
Yeah, it was a weird
Yeah.
moment because I
You
picked
could literally hold the penis of the last guy.
well,
because
because I had picked it up before she explained what it was. And
Could you throw out the whole thing?
I could have.
Prove it.
I got a mean throat, bro. But no, it's one of those things where I picked it up and I was like, okay, this is just a dildo that this person has. And she's like, well, it's actually a clone. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, I really hope you wouldn't have told me that if it was bigger than mine.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, that's definitely under the things that didn't need to be expounded upon. Yeah,
Yeah.
like she didn't need to tell you that was a real man's ween.
Right, yeah. I was like, that's kind of mean that you told
I
me.
think it's okay to ask to get rid of it.
Yes,
If that's the case. I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
still
fair.
asked her to get rid of it. I
It's
was
very
like,
acceptable to be
Yeah.
like, let's not have your ex's penis in the house
Yeah,
with
the
us.
fake
that's
one,
fair.
yeah.
That's yikes.
But honestly, dude, I mean, like, this is just my partner, but a lot of people I've talked to, like, a lot of girls don't even like dildos because it's a fucking. Because Marie.
They like vibrators around.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
little
like-
tiny ones.
Yeah,
that-
Marie explained to me. She's like, yeah, I had I made it, and she's like, yeah, it was identical to my ex's, but it's still fucking.
Like vein by vein. Like,
It was the clone thing, and it's just like. She's like, yeah, she's like, if it makes you feel bad, I barely ever even used it because it's like, those things are weird.
Yeah.
Most girls like just the basic. Bzzz.
most people, if they're masturbating, they're not going to recreate sex that they've had. They're trying to like do it all on their own terms, right? So it's like, oh, it's a nice novelty to have your boyfriend's penis like in a cast, right? But like, you wait, like if you want to have sex with your boyfriend, just wait until your next time you're with him. That like for now, you want to like it to be better,
Right, because I've offered.
You
I
know?
was like, I was like, I part of me vainly was like, I kind of want to make one of these for mine now,
Yeah.
and I could show it to be like, yeah, this is.
Don't feel too bad.
Yeah,
Just
no.
carry it around in my glove compartment.
Yeah.
And show you.
And they're like, Jacob, how big's your dick? Hey, check this thing out. Right there. I got it right here. I got proof there it is.
God damn, dude.
But she was like, I don't want that. I have the real warm one that's attached to
Right,
you.
yeah.
Like, why?
I will. Okay, speaking of like weird sex stuff, so in the laundry room of this here apartment complex, the very one we sit in, and I don't know if it's still down there, but somebody was moving out. I don't know who, but we have in the laundry room like the table where sometimes people put their soaps and whatnot, and occasional notes. Some people will leave like, "Hey, I don't use the soap anymore, free." Somebody left a Ziploc bag next to some toiletry items that said free. And at first I was like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe this smells like soap. I start looking in, and there's Magnum lubricant.
Nice.
And I was like, what? And it was open. I was like, oh, this is a half bottle of lube.
Yeah.
And then there was for him desensitizing lube with a lot of dust on top
Nice.
of the plastic clamshell. Then there was an antifungal cream where I'm like, oh, that's like, I'm like, yo,
Someone's getting dogged out, bro.
I'm like, dog, that's right. These bottle tips are touching. I'm like, yo, like, all right. And then there was like Astroglide, like a ton of lube, and I'm like, the thought is beautiful, But I don't know if that should be free. Like, I don't know if you want to go.
I don't
taking
want
that to the village.
secondhand sex stuff. I don't
probably
want,
not. No,
I don't
was
want,
like maybe buy new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The sentiment again, not lost on me. It was like, this is
Buy new and buy American.
yeah, right. But I was like, oh man, the fungal cream is kind of what did it for me.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that's gnarly.
I
That's
think
so
the
gnarly.
only look, here's my advice to all the men out there. If you want a successful, healthy relationship, all you need is some lube and a Hitachi magic wand. You know,
There
those,
you go.
that shit.
Yeah.
That's
The
great.
basics, man.
That's
Yeah.
man. I think that's
That's
sage advice from a man with a huge ween.
A man with a big ween.
Big ween.
Big. Don't say huge. Let me live up.
Gargantuan.
Gargantuan.
Yeah, that's some real like white guy saying ask if they're hiring type of privilege there.
yeah. Oh, I'd like to work there.
I would like to. I get some shifts.
We should move on to butt plugs. 'Cause
Yeah, I was gonna
have
say
some,
butt plugs.
You guys put stuff in butts? Not in my own butt, but I like other stuff in other butts. You know.
yeah. Not even the people I'm with. Just like
Yeah, just strangers. I like going up to
strangers.
people. And
I've
being
had
like,
my egg in the whole time. I've been having a great pod, dude. A couple laughs off key. That was on me.
Honestly, when we took a pee break, I was worried about farting, so I just plugged myself right up there.
Gotta
and
plug it on up,
plug
dude.
it up.
butt plugs is when we plug upcoming stuff.
Yeah,
Do you
any
have,
shows or anything you got.
do you
It's
have anything?
it's one of the
Yeah.
only things the Rocketeers keep us
Fuck yeah.
on.
I'm gonna be this weekend. I'll be in Peoria, Illinois. Jukebox Comedy Club. One show Friday, one show Saturday. If we sell enough tickets, they'll add a Saturday late show. That would be tight. I'm really excited to be there. Next week, I'll be at the Keene Theater at the University of Michigan. That's a free show. That would be tight. And some other random stuff. My Instagram guy with the hands. You can my link tree. It's got all the shit there. That would be cool.
I used to live in Naperville, so I know people from that area. I'll tell them to go see you.
Hell yeah. I'm really
do that.
excited.
Yeah.
I got, it's just, this was my first big headline weekend on the road, and I'm just super excited. I'm
Yeah.
going to try real hard.
That
and-
fucking rules, man.
Yeah, I know.
Congratulations.
Thank
dude.
you. And
Yeah.
the cool thing is I'm really excited about, I'm getting, some work scheduled down the line. It's like I can finally bring buddies on the road too. So like,
yeah.
I'm sure in
dude.
a few months I got DMs for I'd be like, because like my hope is like someday, like let's say I have like, I don't know, like 30 weekends or whatever, some crazy number like that. And I'll be like, oh man, this weekend I can take Louis, next week
I
I'll
was
take
about
John.
to say,
and be
hey,
like,
these beaks a little bit dry.
Yeah.
Pretty dry.
I just
Wet
like-
some beaks.
everyone in the scene has been nothing but kind to me, and like,
Well, you
I've
gotta
made-
wait. You gotta wait for the big fall to see
Yeah.
who sticks around.
but it's like, I mean, I've known you guys for so long, and it's like, comedy friends starts comedy friends, and they just become real friends, and it's
Yeah.
like I think I am very fortunate to have tons of fantastic friends in the scene, and I'm really excited for a potential chance where I can try to, I don't know, extend the ladder a little bit.
but-
I don't have shit yet, but like,
Dog, you
I
are
have some shit.
You were one of the comics. Like when you got that, like the home team was
Yeah.
going off. Like
There
there's,
wasn't-
there's one of the boys.
I never
you know,
saw
like,
an ounce of like jealous spite.
yeah.
Everybody
And
was
you're-
just so happy for you.
ubiquitously loved. I don't know.
Ubiquitously?
Ubiquitously loved by the scene. Thank you, everybody.
You have to be born without a butthole to know that word.
Yeah, of course. Evidently a growing penis. But it's like, yeah, everybody loved it, and if anybody had a negative thing to say about it, they shut the fuck up because they knew what was good for
Well,
them.
it's like I love the scene back, and it's like, I don't know, it's just like the scene here is so good, so many good rooms and good comics, and it's just like I attribute so much of my life development to like y'all, because it's like, not to jack y'all off, but like having friends that were around me and encouraging me, and we encouraged each other, and it's just like the camaraderie and like the hugs and the good times and bad times. It's just like, I don't know, it became like a real structure for like my support in life, where it's like no matter how fucking shitty something got, no matter how how sad it was or certain anything, like going to the mics and hanging out with the boys and the girls, it's just
Yeah.
this is the best times, and there's gonna be so many more good times.
Yeah, dude.
I was just thinking on Friday. I was my brother just started at U of M, and he had his first week, and I was with him, and we were walking to get coffee, and we walked to the spot that was like hitting me. It was like really familiar, and it was giving me bad feelings. I was like, I feel like I had a bad experience right here. It was like right by a 7-Eleven, and I was like, oh, like it dawned on me. I was like, I was at Jacob's album recording like around the corner, and I was like sweating my balls off.
That was such a hot
I walked to the 7-Eleven for water because I was like, I just needed it.
I felt so bad.
But it was a great. It was a great.
It was a
album
fun
recording.
show. Yeah,
It was
I had
such
a lot of
show.
fun. I had a lot of fun. But I just literally the whole show like watching my friends pour with sweat.
Yeah.
But we
did
did
not-
it for you, Jacob.
Yeah, I
We
was
did it
very
for you.
touched. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I
That's
struggle.
a good bit.
I struggle to put things into words because I'm so rambling all the
Yeah.
time. But it's like I don't know. I just like can't be more grateful and like happy for just to have everybody I do.
Nah, dog. We love you back.
We love
you.
Yeah, like legitimately, it was like watching the hometown hero.
Yeah.
Hit one out of the park. I was like, fuck yeah,
And
dude.
it's not just a proximity thing. There are people that we've known for a long time in the scene that we do not love.
Yeah.
Like it is you.
Carl
yeah.
John. No,
Carl-
okay.
we're
We're talking about
Carl.
Carl
God,
Johnson's
dude.
podcast.
Don't
Sweet
get me
man.
started on that guy. Well,
Dude,
no.
you guys got to start podcast beef with him because you guys got.
Oh, we already have. His podcast sucks.
Have we not said that?
Yeah, dude. Carl, your podcast is catty trash.
We are. We're going on his podcast. He
Yeah.
invited us on, and we'll just beat him up.
Yeah,
beat him
I'm
up.
going to
Beat him
say
up
what
on
I
air.
just said to his face.
No, Carl, dude, Carl took me on the road one time. We went to Traverse City, and like he let me talk to him about Dante's Inferno for like 40 minutes straight.
God damn it.
He asked me about it, and he was like, "Yeah, you're into the Dante's Inferno thing," and I was
so
like, "Yeah,"
sweet.
and he let me talk to him about it for 40 minutes. I was like, "Carl," I was like, "I'm so sorry," and he was like, "Oh no, dude, I like talking." I was like, "Oh yeah, you're a sweet man."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite circle of hell?
Favorite? Ooh, that's a good question.
Sorry, we were in butt plugs, but
My favorite circle. I mean, Lust is fun because it's like it's
fucking
romantic.
fun,
yeah.
It's romantic. Although, like, I think the most brutal punishments towards the later. I think it's the popes are in the 7th circle.
Yeah.
And that's where they're like crushed by like molten rocks forever.
and seven circles, hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
And then, although 6 heresy heresy's pretty hardcore. So I don't know if you're familiar, Johnny, but the heresy.
He's drawing you back in. Get off your phone, dude.
Sorry.
Get off your
Just
fucking phone! I gotta talk about Dante.
I'm sorry. I got him going again.
You're
during
on
butt
heresy.
plugs.
Yeah, I should plug all the Dante content that nobody. When I started making those videos about Dante's Inferno, I lost like 1,000 followers. I was like, I think
Yeah,
these
but-
are fun, but they're
but
like a little
You
too.
galvanized the ones that stay.
Yeah, a couple people were like, I did not think this was gonna pop up, but so the 6th circle heresy. So at this point, Dante, he's in the city of Dis. And he gets to heresy, and heresy is the people, they have to sit in flaming coffins.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's this really fucking... See, Dante's Inferno is funny, but like there's this brutal moment where he walks up to a coffin, and he knocks on the coffin, and just some burning guy pops out, and he's like, "Where's my son? Where's my son? Do you know where my son is?" And he gives like a specific name, and Dante's like, "Yeah, he's dead. He's actually down here." And the guy's like, "Oh." And he just like lays back down and starts burning again. And there's so much funny, goofy shit in
Yeah.
Dante's Inferno, but I find that set just the most brutal thing. All this guy wanted to know is if his son was okay. He's like, Dante's like callously like, nah, he's fucked.
He's in hell
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
up
He's
there.
like, all right, back to sleeping in fire.
Fair enough.
Back to sleeping in fire by the end of the podcast.
yeah,
That's probably my favorite circle.
up there. All right, Johnny, butt plugs and favorite circle of hell.
Dude, Lust all the way.
Lust,
first of
yeah.
all.
It's the romantic one.
Johnny fucks.
Doesn't
dude.
even hurt that bad. Lust is the one where it doesn't hurt that much.
No, it's a pretty
It's
good
just
time.
getting stung by bees,
Relatively speaking.
flying around.
On the 17th, I'm at the Great White Buffalo in Northville with Rob Jenkins.
Hell yeah.
Then I'll be at the Motor City Comedy Fest, Indy in Hamtramck at 9 p.m. on the 21st. 22nd, I'm at Detroit House of Comedy with Mike Cannon for the 6 p.m. show. And then also, I think that same week, I'm going to be on Bloom with you.
Yes.
You'll be hosting.
Nice.
And then I might be on another thing in between there, but we'll see. But other than that, yeah, Bloom
Gangsters.
in Ann Arbor.
Right on.
Go there.
I think I'm gonna cop out and probably pick Limbo. So before they get to hell, but I gotta tell you, I fucks with Virgil.
Virgil's a great character.
I just like Virgil in and out.
Emperor Palpatine kind of vibe of just like he's like, Dante, you must hate them more.
Yeah, but just ushering him around,
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna have some beers and take you through hell. But so no, that or I do like greed as well. But anyways,
They don't talk enough about that in the story. Greed,
it's-
they're like, yeah, they're pushing rocks.
Yeah, motherfuckers. September 12th, I am at the Brewworks. I can't remember. It's Alex Bradley show in Detroit. So that'll be. I don't have my Instagram calendar up yet, but follow me on Instagram at Louis D. Michael, and you see all the dates when I post them. Maybe I'm gonna double dip on September 12th, doing Don't Tell Ann Arbor.
Dude, the Don't Tell Ann Arbor
Yeah,
shows have been
that's-
heat.
I think I'm on
Yeah.
Don't Tell.
Okay.
As well.
Shouts out Ella. She fucking
September-
stresses out about those shows, but she crushes them.
Oh, dude, we're gonna bring some Kill Tony Nation vis-a-vis Jacob, and the Rocketeers are
Yeah.
gonna show up for that one. September 14th is Rabbit Hole, which is DM Eric Laux if you want details on that. But
I have his mic stuff in my car right now. I still
was-
gotta bring that
I
back.
was gonna say shout out Eric at the drunken dinner I was at. I asked him.
Of course.
I asked him if he would put that on as like a goodbye show for me on the east side of the state.
Yeah.
So kind of a farewell show for me. September 14th in Ann Arbor.
Beautiful.
The 21st and 2nd, I'm nerding out at a Warhammer thing with Zachy B. The end of the month, I don't know. I know I have shows, and then October 1st, Williamston Theater. And then I don't know, October, at some point moving to Chicago. Gonna be Chicago's problem for a little bit, and honestly, I will say, doing this pod with you and like all of our buddies in the last couple of weeks, and just with Johnny, I'm like, man, I miss it. I'm like, fuck, I'm like sadly regretting the move, but I think I got to go see what it's about for a little bit.
We'll miss you,
So-
but we'll be proud of you at the same time.
Thanks, bud.
Exactly.
Well, well, hopefully it goes well.
It will.
I'll be crying for the first couple of months, but
Yeah, you'll be crying because you're like, all this money, I can't.
well, yeah, sure, yeah.
all these
money.
Laugh Factory spots.
Oh,
I'm so
God.
stressed. All these blowjobs.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm a taken fella, so the blowjobs.
All these
I
blowjobs
get,
from
yeah.
one lady.
Yeah.
One lady. I mean, like, these loving, caring blowjobs.
Yes.
My girlfriend loves me more now and
Yeah.
blows me all the
Oh
time.
my god.
It's to the point where I just like it when she says "I love you" after the blowjob.
Yeah.
You know?
God damn it, baby, I love you.
Yeah.
Well, I think that'll
That's
do
it.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you for having me.
Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
I've been making some of these videos. I have an extreme amount of knowledge about the TV show Ninja Warrior.
Oh.
If you name me
American or Asian?
both.
Oh.
Both. So if you say any number between 1 and 30, I should be able to tell you anything about that tournament in Ninja Warrior.
17.
17, Makoto Nagano won Kanzen Seiha's final stage. He was not the only person to make it to the final stage that year. What was his name? Shinsuke Nagasaki, Olympic trampolinist. He was his only time making it to the final stage.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one more, and then just to see if you were just making shit up. But
Yeah.
29.
29. So Yusuke Morimoto, that was the first time he achieved Kanzen Seiha's.
All right.
Which means
wait,
total
Morimoto,
victory.
dude.
Which one had the crab guy climb to the top and win it all?
That was the fourth tournament. That's Kazuhiko Akiyama, who tragically started to go blind right after. So the funny thing about Akiyama was he bursted onto the scene. Sasuke season 2, he only made it to the second stage, and then the third tournament he only made it to the first stage. He fell at the first stage, but fourth tournament he just wins, and then never really does good ever again.
So
Unfortunately.
the crab guy won the fourth one.
Yep.
Out of control knowledge on these shows.
It's so fucking useless too. Like
No. I'm glad I know that he's going blind, and I will feel sad forever.
Well, it's easy to remember because this guy Makoto Nagano, who won the 17th tournament, he makes it to the final stage like 4 tournaments in a row. So it's really easy to track. So there's only 4 people who've won. Akiyama won, and so he won in tournament 4. And then there wasn't another winner until Sasuke 17, where Makoto Nagano won. And then this guy Yuji Arushihara won twice. He won in 24 and 26. And then Yusuke Morimoto, who started when he was 16, he won in 29.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But
Hey, helped me get through my parents' divorce that never happened.
there you go. All right.
You know,
Well, now
All
you're
right.
ready.
yeah.
Truly some
I
epic.
should watch up in case of my parents' divorce.
Yeah. I was gonna say good to
prepared.
have the Japanese knowledge on Chinese rocket force.
Chinese multicultural force.